The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93 Air.
Morning, how are you?
Hey, it's only Tuesday.
It's time again for your
favorite show.
This better be good.
Why would they keep tuning in?
Wouldn't tune in.
That wouldn't be a good thing for you.
Greatest show ever.
A family vacation? Don't do that. Look, a family is a bad organization. It barely works at home. Why would you take it on the road?
I have two sisters and a brother, and all four of us were in a family car ride for 3 hours. My dad was driving, going down the highway, and in the distance, we see a McDonald's. We started chanting, McDonald's, McDonald's! And my dad pulled into the drive-thru, and we started cheering. Then he ordered one black coffee for himself and kept driving. In retrospect, that is the funniest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Joe is on a vacation far away. You called him up to talk it over.
Oh, yeah, this thing.
So many things that you want to say. Leave your message when the beep is over. I don't want to miss your call tonight.
Boom!
It's showtime!
Balls Mahoney. We're ready to go again. We welcome everyone to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. That's like magic, really. It's a magical feeling, isn't it, Josh?
I think I'd describe it that way.
By the way, way to...
you want it all to disappear and get on vacation. That's what you're saying?
Way to make the work week feel even longer, Wapple, by playing a bunch of vacation audio in our intro there, a full 4 days before we get there.
I thought I passed out for a second and figured, oh my gosh, it's Friday already.
That's irresponsible.
I missed a lot of days.
Getting pumped for vacay.
No,
I guess.
It might not ever happen, dude. That's my point. That's my point. You get too pumped too soon, you blow your wad too soon, bad things happen. We're talking vacation on a Tuesday. It might never even happen.
I have confidence we'll get there. Now that's concerning.
I'm sorry?
Now that's concerning.
It is. Blow your wad too damn soon.
I think we can all relate, right, Ashley?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, Christ, what's going on here today? Janel Klein's going to stop by. Janel.
That'll be nice.
Walking on in. We're no strangers to nostalgia around these parts. Not at all. We fire up the Wayback Machine. We do. Usually it's my fault. I like to talk about the... Josh, I saw a list yesterday of 30 movies that were released 30 years ago.
Those are always concerning because you think that was 30 years ago or 40 years ago. You know, they're just celebrating the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. And I thought, my God, I'm getting old.
Right.
I can't believe it's been 40 friggin' years.
Summer of 84, Purple Rain. Normally, I don't know, 6, 7 times out of 10, I might blow by one of these lists without much interest, right? These are a dime a dozen, list after list after list of this and that. But one of them on this list of the 30 movies that were released 30 years ago, and you have those feelings like Josh just mentioned. You go, Jesus, criminy, where's my life gone? One of them I know is one of your all-time favorites, a movie that was released 30 years ago. How do you say it again? True Lies.
Oh, I wouldn't call that one of my all-time favorites, but I really did like that movie.
Oh.
For sure.
Oh.
I thought that was a very good movie.
I like Jamie Lee Curtis in that movie.
Dude, that changed me. I hadn't looked at Jamie Lee Curtis in that way before.
What?
And I hadn't seen a lot of her stuff.
Sure. You saw a lot of her stuff in the True Lies.
Oh,
sure
I want her to do that dance for me.
That saved the movie. Other than that, that movie is garbage.
So I had seen this list as well. I mean, and the list, I think, said we peaked 30 years ago with movies, or it was titled something like that. And there were some awesome movies released 30 years ago.
All right. I'm glad to hear you say that. True Lies, if it wasn't for the dancing scene from Jamie Lee Curtis, my God. that movie sucked. It's just terrible.
I liked it.
The acting is terrible. Tom Arnold, terrible. Arnold Schwarzenegger, terrible.
He's got that corny line at the end where he's in a fighter jet and the bad guy, the terrorist, is hanging onto the missile, and he goes, "You're fired."
Yeah, see,
and then hits the missile button, and the thing just goes flying, and the guy goes,
it's just,
shot to hell.
It's frustrating.
If you saw a Schwarzenegger movie back in that day, though, and he didn't have the world's worst pun at some sort of kill time, you'd be disappointed. At least I would be.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, and not just Arnold Schwarzenegger, but in a lot of those movies where they kill someone, you think, well, like Lethal Weapon, they're not going to leave you alone without a cool line before they take someone out.
It was a thing in the 80s, and it bled into the 90s. I was never a fan of that kind of thing, but you're right. If you didn't hear one of those lines, you would feel like, hey, wait a minute, what happened?
Hey, I paid money to come see this.
Mr. Freeze, nice to meet you.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. How do you leave that out?
You want to walk out of the theater with some corny line to dump on your buddies until they punch you in the mouth, you know. All right, so you liked some of these from 30 years ago.
Shoot. I mean, some all-timers.
Let me dump a few others here. These were released 30 years ago. Can you even effing believe it? Some of yous aren't even 30. What's the name of the person who hasn't made a sound yet? They're not even 30 yet to this day.
You talking about Ashley?
Is she here?
She's not 30. Yeah, she talked.
I'm 26.
20. Pulp Fiction came out 30 years ago.
Man.
I'll never forget seeing that movie.
Yep.
For a couple of
great
scenes.
Movie.
The GIMP scene, that stuck with me.
Yep.
Dude, when they were pulling the piercings out.
That was rough.
Sure.
The GIMP scene and the line that,
No, you've got the wrong movie. That was The Punisher.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of The Punisher, right?
Yeah.
Wieners.
I was going to let that go. But yes, you were thinking of The Punisher. And then the car scene. Woo-wee, when they
when they shoot Marvin?
Spoiler alert, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget that. I was absolutely shocked.
I think I've mentioned before on this program that the GIMP scene completely threw me. I had never heard of anything like that. And, this is 1994. I was about 23 years old. I thought I'm pretty sure that I had, seen or heard damn near everything by the time I was 23 years old. When the GIMP crawls out of the chest that he was locked into and they put him on a leash and I was so thrown. I didn't know what was happening. What is this?
Remember,
it creeped me out terribly.
The line Marcellus Wallace had when he gets out of that situation? He's going to come back with some hard pipe to get to work on Holmes with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch.
Yes.
That was a cool line.
There was a lot of cool scenes. Really fun, interesting, wildly violent, at times horribly dark movie. Pulp Fiction was a cool experience. The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, great movie.
Classic.
Incredible.
I didn't rush out and see that one. I thought it looked boring as all hell. So in the summer of 94, I wasn't one of the many people to go. So I waited a few years on that, but I really liked it. Of course, Dumb and Dumber.
Yep.
Knocked my D in the dirt.
Me too.
I was completely oblivious to the movie.
I remember thinking, Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
Why would they put him in that movie?
I wasn't a big Jim Carrey guy.
Oh, I was, for sure.
I did not care for Jim Carrey. Went to see the movie on a blind date without any idea what it was. I hadn't seen any ads on television. Completely in the dark. And me and this blind date, who ended up being crazy, we were roaring at Dumb and Dumber in the movie theater. Speed, garbage.
Oh, man.
Never
fun.
seen it.
Dude, I'll tell you, I absolutely loved that movie, and I rewatched it with my youngest. I'm going to show him one of my favorite movies as a young person, and I don't know why I like. Well, I take that back. It does not hold. At least for me, it didn't hold up.
It's garbage. It was garbage on day one. It's still garbage 30 years
The
later.
premise is just so funny, though. I can't help but love it.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
What you gonna do?
And I loved Keanu Reeves.
You did?
Yeah. Wasn't that Sandra Bullock's first movie, or maybe the movie that made her a star?
One of the big ones.
I would say it was one that made her a star. I don't know if it was her. Also, 30 years ago, Clerks, garbage.
Oh,
enjoyed that as well.
I used to fall asleep to that movie every night for a couple of years.
Forrest Gump, garbage.
I like that movie enough.
Love that movie.
Wyatt Earp. Now, was that Kevin Costner who played the role of Wyatt Earp in 1994?
I think it was.
Never saw it. But my damn, how many Westerns has Kevin Costner done at this point in his career?
That had some big names in it.
Wyatt, yeah, I never bothered
Dennis
with
Quaid
that.
and stuff like that.
Gene Hackman.
I guess I went with Tombstone.
I love Tombstone.
Who
That's
doesn't
one of my
love
favorites.
Tombstone is a perfect movie from start to finish. So I guess that's why I never bothered with Wyatt Earp, because I already had Tombstone. You see where I'm going with that?
And the hell's coming with me?
Wyatt Earp, in my opinion, is Kurt Russell.
Oh, I think he was the best in that, too.
Oh, without a doubt. So I never bothered. Maybe what this version is. The Mask, is that? Okay, that's Jim Carrey.
Yep.
Oh, I always loved that movie.
Yeah, childhood movie.
Yep.
I loved it, too.
I thought it was okay. I mean, what's her name? Is
Cameron Diaz.
That was, you know, the story about Cameron Diaz hitting on my high school buddy.
Oh, yeah.
That was right before The Mask came out. You know? True story.
He could have been an extra.
Ooh, it's funny you say that. He was an extra.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of
Full
how
circle.
That's kind of how my buddy, who was checked out from across the bar by Cameron Diaz. That's this. If you haven't heard the story, it's funny you say that, Walpole. But maybe you're kind of subconsciously remembering the story from years ago. My pal was living in Las Vegas at the time. His girlfriend, who later became his wife, she was getting an education and also working full-time. He was smoking marijuana and hanging out at the casinos. That's what he was doing with his time in Las Vegas. But to make some drug money, he would go be an extra on movie sets. That's what he was doing while he was in Las Vegas. He ended up being an extra in the movie Casino.
Oh, that's a great movie.
He ended up being an extra in a couple of other bad movies that you probably never heard of. One of them, speaking of Kurt Russell, one of them was a Kurt Russell movie. The one where Kurt Russell enters a time machine and they made fun of it on South Park. Doesn't matter. But so because he was kind of hobnobbing with movie people and movie sets, getting paid $20 for 12 hours of work as an extra, he ended up at some function, and that's where he saw Cameron Diaz, and she saw him, and there was electricity between the two of them. And then The Mask came out, she became a big star, and she never called him. Never texted, nothing.
She got that mask money.
Yep.
Now, some of these movies from 30 years ago, I don't remember dick about them. The Flintstones?
Oh,
yeah, I like that one.
Oh,
was that the live action one or whatever?
John Goodman and Rick Moranis.
Oh.
Interview with the Vampire, which always threw me. The title. What do you mean, the Vampire? There's only one of them? I didn't get that.
Well, it's like the guy, right?
The superior one?
Yeah.
Okay. And now it's a television series, I've noticed.
Yes.
Okay. Interview with the Vampire. Never saw it. Street Fighter, like the video game?
Oh, that was pretty rough.
I didn't watch that movie.
Even as a kid, I loved the game Street Fighter, and I remember watching that at a sleepover, and we were all just kind of laughing at it. And we were 10 at the time. So when you're 10 and you think a movie about a video game is bad, you know it's pretty bad.
That's why I haven't rewatched Mortal Kombat.
Don't.
Did you watch the new one?
No.
I like the new one.
The new one's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. Yes.
What were we talking about?
I forgot that
Mortal Kombat.
Never saw
it. Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's Street Fighter. And I really liked him, especially back in the day, but that's one I skipped.
Hey, Vegas G. Jesus. Recognized the name. He texts in from time to time. He was an extra, he says, and I believe him, in Rocky IV.
No.
Dude, any Rocky would be great.
I want to know more details. What scene?
But Rocky IV. I mean, I think if you're in any Rocky, how awesome would that be? But That's the one I'd want to be in.
Absolutely.
Rocky IV.
And no offense, your friendly neighborhood garbage man who texted in. No offense. But every time we talk about Cameron Diaz, someone texts in and says, did you know she was in a porno? I saw the video that you're referring to long time ago. I don't know if I'd call it a porno. I mean, she was kind of topless with some other ladies, and there was some nipple play. Are you guys totally aware of this?
No, I never
really?
heard this. Yeah.
I'm looking
What?
it up now.
Yeah.
For God's sake, okay. Other movies that came out 30 years ago, The Crow, never saw it.
Oh, yeah, really like that one.
Brandon Lee, was that his name?
Yep.
Bruce Lee's son.
Passed away on that movie set.
That's the movie set that the movie set
Infamously.
killed. How did he go?
There was supposed to be a blank and a gun. Or maybe it was I can't remember if something happened where he's basically shot with the gun. So I don't know if like a portion of I don't know gun terms, but the blank came out and hit him. Or,
damn.
Was it Michael Massey, the guy that I forget the name of the actor?
Boy, that
was holding it. I mean, it ruined him. I saw him do an interview not even too long ago, and he looks like he can barely keep it together. I don't blame him.
Can't remember. Airheads.
That was pretty stupid.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one. A buddy of mine had, he worked at a movie theater at the time, and so they had these, like, not marionettes, but what are those deals that go, like, above a crib? You know, where there's a bunch of things.
Oh, a mobile.
Mobile, yeah. They had some of those. They were given away at the movie theater, and I had taken Adam Sandler's head, and that was in my car forever. And I think his character name might have been Pip, and so they nicknamed my car Pip because I had one of those hanging from my rearview mirror.
Friggin' airheads.
Yeah.
Brandon or Brendan, whatever his name, Frazier, Steve Buscemi. I watched it. Here's why. There was a time, sadly, when your local network television stations would replay Airheads, right? Those days have come and gone, thankfully. But for a stretch of time, Channel 9, late at night, Channel 29, whoever else we have here in town, they might play that movie just to fill some time. The reason why I would flip over to Airheads, the blonde in that movie, Amy Locane, I remember her name and I will remember her name forever, I thought was just one of the most stunning women in the friggin' world. She was also played alongside John Depp in that wacky Crybaby movie. I can't remember what else she was in. Do you guys know who I'm talking about?
I know that you've certainly seen the movie.
Oh, I thought she was...
I don't know much about her other than that movie.
Blazing hot in 1990.
She was on like Melrose Place for a while or something like that.
Okay, never saw it. Just scorching hot. But I could not stand the movie overall. I mean, there's one funny scene in the movie. We've discussed this before, haven't we, Josh? What's the one truly funny scene in the stupid movie Airheads?
Well, when they go bust into the Dealey Bobber?
No.
Which part?
When they're playing in prison in front of all men, and Steve Buscemi, whatever the hell his name was, Steve Buscemi, he's humping his bass, right?
Oh,
They're a band, right?
Yeah, yep.
They're playing. They get busted for this radio station hijacking or whatever it is. They go to prison, and they're playing a live show in prison, the Airheads band, and Steve Buscemi is just pumping his bass like an 80s rocker might do for a room full of women. That's a funny scene. Okay.
He was funny in that movie.
The Lion King, never saw it.
Wonderful.
Great movie.
Love that movie.
Scared me.
Natural Born Killers.
I like that movie, but I didn't like it as much as the rest of the world did. I want to rewatch it.
We're rolling through movies that came out 30 years ago to make all of us feel old. Natural Born Killers. I love the darkness and the creepiness and the violence of Natural Born Killers. I do. But I'll say it for the millionth time. There is just no way in 1994 I could buy Woody Harrelson as a scary, psychotic character.
Yeah, it's different now, but you're right. That's how I felt too.
Right. He has proven himself since to be a terrific actor. He's one of my favorites. But I could not be scared of Woody Harrelson. I was scared of Juliette Lewis, who played the lady, whatever she was great. She's kind of iffy, I think, in general. She's kind of a different kind of a person. Woody Harrelson walking around with his receding hairline slicked back, wearing a tank top and trying to be, it didn't work for me. But I do love overall just how bizarre that movie is. Rodney Dangerfield made an appearance in that movie. All right, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, obviously wildly funny. Legends of the Fall came out 30 years ago. That's probably what made Brad Pitt, right?
I haven't seen that one before.
Me neither.
Oh yeah. It goes on forever. It's a lot of Brad Pitt posing so women can touch themselves. But overall, it's dark. It is. Oh, it's dark. So I like those elements of the movie, skipping the Brad Pitt with the, you know what I was saying. The Santa Claus, never saw it. Some of these I don't know. Ed Wood.
Your favorite actor in it, the Santa Claus.
My favorite actor?
Yeah, of all time. I've heard you do commercials about it.
My favorite actor of all time.
You watch the show every day.
Tim
Allen.
Ted Danson.
Tim Allen. Nope, Tim Allen.
Ed Wood, I don't know what that is.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Didn't see that one.
Richie Rich.
Oh, Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah. I watched that once.
The cartoon character? I'd never heard of it. Junior? Is that where a man is pregnant?
Yeah, Schwarzenegger gets preggers.
Schwarzenegger, he's pregnant. He's a man.
It's different. Men don't typically get pregnant.
Right. Let's go see it. That's crazy. Angels in the Outfield, never saw it.
Oh, that was fun.
Loved it.
Camp Nowhere.
Oh, I love that movie.
Never heard of it.
Me either.
A bunch of kids basically set up a fake camp and take their parents' money and set up their own camp and just have a summer to themselves.
Oh, that's cool. Sounds cute.
And then they get shrunk.
No, that's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
And then they
made a hockey team? No, that's the Mighty Ducks.
Oh, yeah. D2 came out 30 years ago.
Yeah, I left that off on purpose.
I was going to throw it in because I know a guy that's pretty excited about it.
I didn't want to hear
it. I wouldn't have let you leave that off.
I left it off on purpose, and I also left off Little Giants because I'm sure that's also one of Dana's favorite movies.
It's okay.
I like that movie. When they put in the
Alka-Seltzer?
Alka-Seltzer pills and they start foaming from the mouth. They look like they have rabies.
Stop it! How about this one? Have you heard of this one? From 1994, 30 years ago. 3 Ninjas Kick Back? I've never heard of that.
It was the second of the 3 or 4 Three Ninjas movies.
Yeah. Never even heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Blank Check? Nothing. I got nothing on that. My mind is a blank check on that one.
The kid gets a blank check because he gets hit by a car by some skis ball, and then he makes up for $1 million and buys a mansion.
Oh, I love that movie.
Then he shrinks everybody.
He does, yep. Mm-hmm.
Good. And finally, on the list, The River Wild. I think I remember that one. I think Kevin Bacon is an evil dude who tries to kill folks on a river. I don't know. I could be wrong.
John C. Reilly's in that one. Meryl Streep is in that one.
Oh, yep. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, mm-hmm. God dang. Nice work, Cubby. So 30 years ago, those are the movies were dumped on our heads, and we ate up a lot of it.
Pretty damn good year for movies, I'd say.
I was trying to think of all that list, which one I've seen the most. It's got to be Dumb and Dumber. I've seen a few of them more than a few times.
That would make sense, right?
That's something where no matter how many times I've seen it, if it's on, I'll watch it.
Oh, yeah.
That and Three Ninjas Kick Back.
I always thought you were more of a Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain kind of guy, Josh.
Well, they just don't play that one as much.
That's true.
You know that series?
I didn't even know they made it. I've heard of Three Ninjas, and I was familiar with the premise, but I had no idea they made more.
Three Ninjas Kick Back, Three Ninjas Knuckle Up, and then Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain.
What's the most recent one?
These are kids' movies, obviously?
Yeah, Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain was the final one, and Hulk Hogan played the bad guy in that one.
Oh, Hulk Hogan.
Well,
we've met him.
Yeah, our old buddy.
Christ almighty.
Yeah, I would say probably Lion King for me is probably the most watched on that list.
That's up there.
So young.
That's up there. Yeah.
Yeah, either that or I think you left off Little Rascals too. Oh, I love that.
I don't
movie.
know. Did I leave that one out?
Yeah, you left that one out.
Absolutely loved that movie.
That was
as
good.
A kid.
That was good.
I've got a pickle. I've got a pickle.
I received a text message here from a listener. They didn't leave their name. And he or she says, speaking of that missile hot blonde, Amy Locane from Airheads and other movies in the 90s. The listener says, isn't it weird how some big stars just disappear? Yeah, some get in trouble. Some get typecast. But some just kind of walk away from the scene. I don't know Amy Locane's story. But
it doesn't sound very good when you look it up.
Yeah, didn't she have some legal troubles?
Yeah.
Well, what did she do? What happened? What are you looking on Wikipedia?
She got in a car accident and hurt a couple people in the process.
Couple DUIs.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But the individual here who texted in also mentions Wyatt from Weird Science. It's funny that you bring up Wyatt from Weird. There's Gary and Wyatt. Gary played by Anthony Michael Hall, who was big in the 80s. Wyatt, I cannot think of the actor's name, but it's funny. I just looked him up recently for some reason. I think the guy went on to writing movies and things like that. I mean, some of them go back to doing plays. There's so many avenues that actors and such can take once they make a few big bucks in Hollywood. So, yeah, Wyatt from Weird Science. The girl, it says here, the girl from Ferris Bueller. Maybe they mean
Sloane?
Ferris's girlfriend, Sloane. I don't know who that is. I remember her from the movie. Kelly McGillis is an example also used here, who was like the top leading lady in movies for a 4 or 5 year stretch of time. I don't know what happened after that. But yeah, sure, it is kind of funny to watch a massive movie, something that everyone fell all over. And there's characters who had prominent roles in those movies who you just never heard from again for many different
TV
reasons.
shows, too.
Television shows,
I mean, that was just, my wife and I were talking about that because we're rewatching House, and I forgot how much I loved it. And there's some actors on there that are great that you just really never heard from again. And you kind of wonder, they're so good. But I guess maybe you just look at that person and think, well, I can't think of them other than Joey from Friends. Mm-hmm. Or whatever show it is.
Yeah.
They come and go, Josh. Here today, gone tomorrow. Is how they say it. Hey, be listening this morning. We got another crack at tickets to our boat cruise, which earlier this morning, Josh and I were talking about how it felt like it was just minutes away, and then Wapple reminded us with his intro that it's 4 days away. It felt like it was right around the corner, and then here we go. Be listening for your crack at tickets to our boat cruise coming up on Friday. We got, like I said, Janel Klein stopping by. It ought to be a hell of a deal. We appreciate you quite a bit. We'll be back in a few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
This episode brought to you by Progressive. Whether you're driving, cooking, or doing laundry, Progressive knows the podcasts you listen to go best when they're bundled with another activity. Much like how their Progressive home and auto policies go best when they're bundled. Having these two policies together makes taking care of your insurance easier and could help you save too. Customers who save by switching their home and car insurance to Progressive save over $775 on average. That's a whole lot of savings and protection for your favorite podcast listening activities, like going on a road trip, cooking dinner, and even hitting the home gym. Yep, your home and your car are even easier to protect when you bundle your insurance together. Find your perfect combo. Get a home and car insurance quote at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $779 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, he texted in. He texted into the show again. He's a local living legend. He's referee Rob Page. He was commenting on something or another we were discussing a few minutes ago. Movies that came out 30 years ago. we were talking about, by God, can you believe it's been 30 years since, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Situation, Dumb and Dumber, this and that. We were going through. Hard to believe those movies are 30 years old. I'm pissed off at that website now. I found it on the Chive, but it was probably produced on some other web. Whoever created the list. Now I'm pissed off because they missed out. Referee Rob Page was there to remind me. They missed out on an all-timer. I mean, Christ, Josh, they took the time to mention Little Giants and Mighty Ducks and Ninja Clowns Part 3 or whatever. but they neglected to mention, until referee Rob Page reminded me and us, The Professional.
Now, I have mixed feelings on that movie.
30 years ago. Love it.
Yeah, I did too. And I rewatched it a couple years back, and now I feel a little differently. It's a little odd, the relationship between the two main characters, Natalie Portman and, was it Jean Reno? You probably pronounce it different since he's French or whatever.
Sure.
But he was like 32 years older, and it was odd.
Well, yeah.
The dynamic between the two.
It was odd.
I didn't notice it when I was 19 years old, but rewatching it a couple years ago, I definitely noticed.
She was in love with him.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a little kid. Little kids fall in love for funny reasons.
Made me uncomfortable.
Are you uncomfortable with it?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
But never saw it.
Oh, dude.
It's an awesome movie.
It's incredible.
It's
it
really,
seems like
really
something
good.
I would like.
It's whatever the guy's name is, Jean Reno, whatever. He's terrific as this hired killer. It's again,
Gary Oldman's in it. I love that guy.
What was his last name?
Oldman.
Oldman, yeah.
Natalie Portman, wonderful.
Again, I hate to sound like the most morbid guy in the county, but there's a darkness to that movie that draws me in every time.
Yeah, you don't like feel-good movies.
I do not.
You like bad endings, right?
I do like some. Horrible endings appeal to me, yeah.
You only like Dumb and Dumber because Petey's head fell off.
Yes.
That's the only part about it you liked.
As soon as I saw that friggin' bird, I said...
You thought, hilarious.
Something bad better happen.
Blind kid.
Friggin' bird.
He's in a wheelchair and his bird, he doesn't even know his bird's head came up.
Kid had it coming.
Nice work, referee Rob Page, The Professional. Bring me everyone.
Yeah.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone.
Can we find the audio?
That's where that comes from.
Find that audio. That's an awesome scene.
I would love to.
What's the problem?
You remember?
I don't remember.
We
No.
can't do that?
I'm sorry. No, I don't remember. All right.
You have to say that to you all the time.
Here we go with today's Stupid News Report.
I could get it, but it's going to take me a while.
No. Don't. I forgot. Hopefully you'll get a kick out of what we got going here in today's Stupid News. Australia has their fair share of crazy gearheads. It's not just syrup making and Shania Twain concerts up there. Australia, they've got their ground level gearhead types running around like we have here in Fridley and Spring Lake Park and whatnot. An Australian dude is wanted by police because he allegedly did some buck wild burnouts in his neighborhood the other night.
Ah, sick.
Isn't that sick?
I do think those are pretty sick, yeah. I agree with you.
Burnouts. They showed a picture in the article here. They showed the picture of his, how do you call it? The cul-de-sac in his neighborhood. And he left rubber on every inch of that cul-de-sac. He's just whipping around doing his burnouts.
That's one thing in the summer, coming off of 280 here onto Kasota on the way to work. There's every Monday, it's mostly rubber instead of blacktop.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, because they have all the street racing on 280, and then they get off there, and they're all doing burnouts and stuff. But, I mean, everyone loves burnouts, right? Everyone.
Ready? Bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! God dang! It's right before they went after Leon. And he gave them what for? He did. He's hanging from the ceiling shooting guys in the cranium.
He's the professional.
Yeah. All right. Got me fired up now. So this this effing guy in Australia with his burnout, he got so effing mental with the burnouts, Cubby, that a tire came loose from his garbage vehicle and it knocked some poor sucker upside the skull.
That's the bad thing of some of these street takeovers, right? It seems like somebody gets run over or worse.
Dude, a tire came off and some dude probably smoking a joint there in the cul-de-sac was like, yeah, he's doing burnouts again.
That sucks.
Hit a guy in the skull. He's all right. The guy who took the tire to the cranium, he's going to be all right.
Which is impressive.
Yeah. And I'm not kidding about the garbage vehicle. I saw a picture, and it's about the worst-looking car I've ever seen. It says here it's a gold-colored Ford Falcon covered in blue spray paint graffiti.
Ooh. Sweet. But the graffiti's not even good. You know, sometimes there's cool graffiti.
Right. That's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, sometimes folks can take spray paint and... No, looked like a 4-year-old cut loose on the car. It's awful looking.
Yeah, it almost looks burnt, like the car's broken down, and someone just painted all over it.
In the movie, speaking of old movies, in the movie Animal House, when they're driving around that station wagon, doesn't it say a Deathmobile on the side?
Boy, it's been
you guys,
so long. I know it said.
Yeah,
well, I haven't seen it since.
All right.
A couple years after it came out, probably.
Bastards.
Yes.
Well, actually more than that, because it was, late 70s?
651-989-9393. Doesn't it say? A guy I went to high school with had a station wagon. He cut the lid off the damn thing. Broke all the glass out of it. Cut the lid off with God knows what. I mean, there were jagged, deadly pieces sticking out from the frame of the... And then he took black spray paint and he wrote Deathmobile on the side and put some skulls and crossbones. Very sloppy, not pretty looking, very sloppy looking. I swear to God, that was Deathmobile. Okay, back to our guy in Australia. The icing on the cake here is that the cops are now looking for the burnout driver guy. And the description of the guy that the cops got from witnesses is fun. This is what the cops have to go on. Witnesses said he was driving again, like I mentioned, that gold-colored Ford Falcon sedan covered in blue spray paint graffiti. And on the night in question, he was dressed in a banana costume. Approach with caution.
Sounds like the guy in the banana costume split. We'll be back after this. He peeled out this guy in the banana costume, you're saying?
Son of a bitch. People are telling me that the car in Animal House says, eat me. I'm getting conflicting reports.
Yeah, some pictures I'm seeing, it says Deathmobile.
Okay. Maybe one side it said Deathmobile, on the other it said Eat Me. It's been a long time since I've seen Animal House.
Well, wasn't it like an evil-looking car with fangs and stuff?
It's got fangs.
Deathmobile would make sense. But then again, it's got a mouth, so maybe Eat Me.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they took the statue head, didn't they? And they put it on top of the car or whatever.
Here's the thing. You folks don't have many detailed memories of Animal House. I think I have a little better idea, but I'm not afraid to say it, and I never have been. Animal House, wildly overrated. Wildly overrated.
I couldn't tell you. I think I saw it in 7th grade, so I remember thinking it was... So at that time, I thought, this is scandalous. I wasn't allowed to watch anything like that, but I saw it on a sleepover, so it was pretty scandalous to me.
Yeah, I only saw it once, so... Obviously, it wasn't that great.
People get pissed off. People get pissed off if you don't just fall down and molest yourself at the thought of Animal House, but it's wildly overrated. Josh and I have made a lot of enemies in this town. A lot of enemies. When we say the same thing about Spinal Tap.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
We've made a lot of people mad.
But yes, some people consider it the world's greatest comedy.
Yeah, no.
It's all right.
I love the movie, but I wouldn't go as far as saying it's the greatest comedy.
And what's the other one that we've been threatened over, Josh? Monty Python. Wildly overrated.
I don't think I've ever seen that either.
Well, of course, you're 26. You haven't seen any of this stuff.
I love that movie. But I love the British comedy slapstick.
Do you? Maybe that's part of it for me. I like it enough, but sometimes I don't think it's for me.
Small doses.
I absolutely loved what was it, Life of Brian? I think it was.
Yeah, I didn't see that
It doesn't matter, Wapple, because it's wildly overrated.
No, it was hilarious.
People are saying it was the cake float in the parade in Animal House that said, eat me.
Okay, fair enough. By God, today's stupid news report has taken us all the way to France. Josh, it's a global thing, the stupid news. We cover the damned globe. Here's a French player for you. Now, I don't know a damn thing about how the laws or anything else works in French, but no matter where's you're at, this sounds like a long way to go to avoid a speeding ticket. Says here, a dude went out and had his car painted to try and avoid a speeding ticket. Let me try and spell this out for you. Again, it was written with a French accent, so almost nothing makes sense here. I had to try, I had to edit the balls off of this thing so we could all understand. Back on June 2nd, French police used a radar gun to record a big shot in a Porsche driving around 120 miles per hour. That's far too fast, don't you know? 120. The French cops gave the Porsche douche some kind of signal for him to stop. I guess that's how they do it over there. But Porsche douche reportedly just flew right on by. No pulling over, no nothing. The cops didn't even get his silly-looking French license plate number because the dude was going so damned fast. All the cops had was that the vehicle was a bright green Porsche 911. Bright green Porsche 911. Now, this wasn't the biggest town in France, and there was only one person in town that drove a bright green Porsche. So the cops knew who they had to go after in the long run.
That's pretty unique. That's going to stand out.
Definitely.
Yeah, they didn't have his license plate.
Looks like something Bret Michaels would have drove in 1987. It's the poison green, the poison the band green.
Drove it to the set of the what was that song called again? Jump in the back seat. No, not in the front. Jump in the back. Why? Because there's something. He drove it to the set of the I Want Action music video. Right. Brent drove that green Porsche. They didn't get a look at the driver. They didn't have the license plate, but they said, oh, wait a minute. There's only one schmuck here in town that drives a bright green Porsche. Before you could say Jacques Robinson, the only dude in the area known to drive a green Porsche walks into the local police station, right? They were planning on going to get the guy, but here he comes walking into the police station. Oh, hey, fellas. How's it going? Kind of a thing. Acting like he was just dropping by to say bonjour. And here's the kicker. The cops quickly noticed that his effing Porsche was now gray.
Wait a minute.
So he used the strategy from the Grand Theft Auto video games.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking the whole time.
So you just spray paint your car, and then the cops won't know it's you anymore.
Yeah, the pay and spray.
When paint job Porsche douche was informed that he was spotted speeding the other night, he acted oblivious. He said it couldn't have been him because he had a flat tire on the day of the incident and his Porsche wasn't drivable. Oh, and also, his Porsche isn't green, it's gray. Look at it, it's right there in the parking lot.
Can't you see it?
Cops said, oh, yeah, that's a cute answer. Sit tight. They went to look at the dude's car, and sure as hell, there were traces of green paint in different areas of the now gray car. What a punk move. He's 40 years old, too, this guy, a supposedly grown effing man. Only then did Porsche douche fold and admit it was him driving like a jag-off. He admitted to effing painting his car to try and avoid being caught. But he still couldn't come completely clean. He said he never saw the cops signal for him to stop that night. Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. But he still wants to act like, oh, I didn't.
I was driving too fast. Oh, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got a car that looks like that, you're definitely going to stand out no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
You drive by in that Ford Falcon, they're not going to notice that. Not when you got a bright green Porsche going by.
Police impounded the dripping wet with gray paint Porsche until the case is resolved. Dude could go to jail for this, which is hilarious. My God, what's the punishment in France for a speeding ticket that he went through this much friggin' effort to try to get away with it? Did they give you beatings or something? I thought France was kind of SAWFT soft over. That's the
I thought it was
stories
like
that
$1,400. The ticket would have been like $1,400
Wow.
had he just, got busted for the speeding for going that fast. So they don't mess around there. But yeah, he's looking at like $16,000 and a couple of years in jail,
dude,
for doing what he ended up doing.
F me.
Just a paycheck, Jesus said this story's obviously fake. They don't use miles per hour in French. Yeah, there's no way we could have converted that when editing these stories.
Yeah, that's over our heads.
All right, take this with you today. Use this information to impress your friends if you want. Good thing. Here we got Smashley's here today. Okay, that's good because we could use you here because we're going to talk about breast tissue.
All right.
Go on.
Your bra size affects how much you sweat. You've talked before on this here program, Ashley, about how you sweat like an animal.
Yeah, I sweat.
Pouring
a
sweat,
lot.
body odor, just terrible.
Not the body odor, thankfully.
Sleep toots, everything. You've talked about all this stuff.
Gas, sweat, body odor. That's you. You've mentioned this before on the...
And Dana, you mentioned you sweat quite a bit as well.
Yeah, I'm a sweaty dude.
Says here, Ashley, your bra size affects how much you sweat. Women with bigger cans sweat less.
That surprises me. I would have thought quite the opposite.
I would think
That's
there'd
what
be a
I
lot
hear.
more boob sweat.
Yeah, the under boob sweat.
Yeah, because, if you have more flesh, you tend to sweat more, correct? So I'm surprised that that's not the case here.
This is what they're saying, Cubby. It was one of those studies that seem to go on 24/7. Studies here, studies there. We get a new report every 10 minutes. That's the story. Women with barrels up there actually sweat less than those with less cargo. Scientists from a school called the University of Southampton came up with this. They say their results have valuable implications for our understanding of sweat management requirements for sports bras. I don't know what they're talking about. Thank Christ they took the time, though. Or how the hell would we be able to go on? They talk in the article, it goes on forever, and it would bore you to death. They talk about sports bras, support, chafing, sweat accumulation, breast surface area, sportswear innovations, the nipple, the sternum, sweat glands, wetness, stickiness.
Is this something that you already knew, Ashley, or is this news to you as well?
That's news to me. Yeah, because from people I talk to, it seems like the friends I have with bigger breasts sweat a lot more than the women that don't have big breasts.
That's what I would guess.
You were aware of that, you're saying, before?
She said she wasn't aware.
You weren't aware of that.
No, I thought it was the other way around.
In the article, they talk about the thermal needs of women's bodies. Can you speak on that at all, Ashley? What are your top 3 thermal needs?
No clue.
What? Yeah, I want to know your thermal need bucket list. What are you trying to check off that list?
So anyway, if you got boobs hanging off of you, look this up. Maybe the info will help you be more comfortable next time you climb up on that silly treadmill or you go for a jog or whatever. The smaller the silos, the more you sweat. Believe that.
I got to look up some text messages from a buddy of mine yesterday who sent me different words for boobs I'd never heard. Have you ever heard of yard donkeys?
Yard donkeys?
No. I have not.
I had sent I guess you'd call that a gift to a buddy, and he wrote back, "Wow, she's got some yard donkeys."
Dude.
And I'd never heard that. He said he's also called them yard hammers or snake trays, which he admits makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, none of it seems to make much sense to me.
I like it, but yard donkeys, that got me.
I'm kind of a yard donkey, really.
My fiance got upset with me the other day when I called them chest beefers.
Chest.
I do not like that.
Well, why'd you get mad? Did you say, boy, your mom's got some nice chest beefers?
I can't remember the context, but she's kind of not upset, but she kind of looked. She was like, "Really? Did you just call them chest beefers?"
That's terrible. Yeah, that's one of the worst I've ever heard.
Yep.
I thought you said beavers.
No,
beefers. Yeah.
Chest beefers, huh?
Keep that to yourself.
Did you just make it up, or had you heard that before?
I heard it. I had to have heard it somewhere. There's no way I came up with that on the spot or anything.
Probably on that.
I've seen you come up with some dumber stuff.
Boss lady Sheezus said women with large breasts have learned how to get creative with deodorant. Sure.
Oh,
we love that lady with, is it the Loom deodorant?
Oh, yeah.
All the places she likes to put it, and how she's just so open about it.
Josh and I have a massive crush on that woman, the one who talks about running a deodorant stick up your behind and whatnot. Pits,
butt crack,
feet, butt crack. When she says butt crack, I gotta be honest with you. I touch myself a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. I love that lady.
I've never thought about putting deodorant on my butt crack until she mentioned it.
I feel like it would sting. A little bit of stinging.
Well, what do you got going on back there? You got open sores?
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do.
I mean, you don't run it over the top of your anus. What's the matter with you?
Just spread eagle.
Back to this study. They studied the breasts of women between the ages of 18 and 55. I'll tell you what, if I'm on that research team, I'm Employee of the Month by the end of that deal. I think I impressed some people. I'm there early every day, and I stay late.
Which group do you want to be in if they break them off into age groups?
Not picky.
Because I know Wapple wants to be in the 50 to 55 group for sure.
I'm not picky at all.
You'll take any yard, donkey.
Poland now. Here we go. We're in Poland. Isn't this something?
We're like world travelers today.
And like I said about France, I have zero idea how things operate in Poland. But this sounds awful inappropriate to me. A Polish video game developer studio. Video game developer studio. That's how they call it here. A Polish video game developer studio by the name of Spectrum Studios. They've probably gone too far with this. They sent out some kind of a memo looking to set up naked sauna sessions with their staff. They tried to sell it as like a brainstorming session.
Yeah, good little team bonding.
But they want everybody's gear out, naked in the sauna. And some of the staff was made to feel uncomfortable by that.
Yeah, I think I'd be a little uncomfortable. I mean, I don't like saunas in the first place, don't like being nude in the second place. But even if I was okay with both of those, can you imagine like your boss saying, all right, this is what we're going to do?
No.
That'd be very alarming.
So the studio's creative director, a fella called Jacek Pierkowski, he posted the ad on LinkedIn. I've heard of LinkedIn. I don't know exactly what it does, and I don't care.
That's where I'm connected with Stephen Piercy and Brad Gillis.
Right.
Dave the Snake Sabo.
Well, then it has proven itself to be valuable to you.
To me, yeah.
You're on LinkedIn with Dave the Snake Sabo, lead guitar player of Skid Row.
Correct.
Have you guys chat back and forth a little bit?
Never once.
Oh, why not?
Well, I guess you probably could. It's not really necessarily like that. I just follow. We're connected. But that's all I need.
Okay. Well, if you ever...
I'm sure he probably tells people the same thing.
Definitely.
I'm connected with this kid from Minnesota.
Do you think he's just sitting on his phone waiting for the message? Any day now.
Well, I don't message him.
Well, now, Josh, if you ever jaw jack back and forth with Dave the Snake Sabo, you got to ask him about my dad.
Of course I would.
Because they're old drinking friends.
I bet he'd remember something. Well, I guess you never know. The guy partied pretty hard, but your dad's a memorable individual.
They were drinking buddies for a... All right. Apparently the reason the boss over at this video game shop is demanding naked sauna sessions with his staff. He says they're working on a video game where the main character is a sauna master. What the hell is a sauna master?
I think he was trying to find a way to get people naked.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely.
yeah, that's obvious, but you got to hear some of what this guy...
Well, what I'm saying is that's why he created this. Let's come up with a game that can give an excuse.
Oh, the game.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anyone being a sauna master. So by holding these naked sauna meetings, he believes that his storytellers will be able to come up with some great content for the game. He's got dudes and chicks on his staff. He don't care what you got between your legs. I'm expecting to see you at the naked sauna meeting so we can talk about the sauna video game.
Might be weird to sit there and have a meeting and you're looking at your coworker's snake trays. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
I wouldn't like that very much.
Now,
because I try and be polite and not stare, but I think it's just instinct. You're going to drift downward.
You have to, yeah.
I'm maybe looking everywhere. Yeah, I'm not paying much attention.
But I suppose if I was going to get naked and in front of a bunch of different people, I'd prefer it to be a sauna than a cold pool, if I had the choice.
Sure, makes sense. That's just makes good sense. Now, dude was asked, I don't know who asked him, why can't the staff just wear a towel for the sauna meetings instead of being butt-ass naked? He said a towel will get drenched after a few seconds in the sauna, and then his staff is at risk of catching a fungal infection.
That's a good point.
He's really trying here.
I don't think it's a reach at all. I think he's just looking out for his staff.
Mm-hmm. I'm with Dana
he's
on that.
definitely looking out for his staff, Dana. That's for sure.
Dude.
Your friendly neighborhood garbage man said sauna penis. Trust me. Yeah, I bet that'd be you have summer penis. I bet sauna penis, that gives you a couple extra millimeters.
Oh, it's lights out. Yeah, it's lights out.
It's glistening a little bit,
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
escalated that one.
What's wrong with you today?
Can I just let you know that your penis is glistening right now? It's beautiful.
I don't ever want to hear anyone say anything like that ever again.
Yeah, people are getting mad at us for our pronunciation of sauna.
Oh,
I can't say sauna.
It's never going to happen.
It's
you can
stupid.
text us until the day that you die on how to properly pronounce that word. I'm never going to say it the way you do.
I was wondering if somebody was going to text in and say it's not Porsche, it's Porsche.
I was thinking that too.
I was just raised different.
Those sauna
words
people
are too fancy for me.
The sauna people need to save it. This would make most of us need a fresh pair of drawers right here. A lady ordered a new Xbox controller from Amazon. Man, she must have worn the last one out, huh? Anyway. Right? Well, don't you wear them out?
Yeah, or
I thought you were making a joke because they vibrate.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I don't know anything about that kind of thing. No, that was not a vibrator joke.
Yeah, or she got so mad at video games, she broke the last one and needs a new one.
Have you done that before?
Yes, I have.
More than once?
Once.
Just once?
Yeah, it was back with the N64.
Oh, sure.
Lady ordered a new Xbox controller from Amazon. When the package arrived and she cracked it open, yeah, there was an Xbox controller thingy in there, but there was something else in there too. Cobra!
No!
Oh, no.
Sitting in the package next to the controller was a damn bloodthirsty cobra. It was alive, and it was looking to kill. The gal by the name of Tanvi, she's from southern India, and there's snakes all over town, but it still scared the pants off of her. Now she's looking for legal advice on what to do next. She's pretty pissed off at the Amazon folks.
I would be too.
There's video of the snake, how do you say it? Snake. There's video of the snake creeping out of the Amazon box, if and you want to see something like that.
Ugh.
Slowly making its way. Luckily, nobody got by the snake. Tanvi got a hold of Amazon over the telephone. She said, "We did receive a complete refund, but what do we get for risking our lives here with a venomous snake? I don't know, I guess nothing." She also wanted to make it clear that the package was directly delivered to her hot little hands. It wasn't left outside on the front step where the snake could have slid its way into the box. 651-989-9393 if you want to get cute with that. She didn't say what she did with the cobras. If she killed it or ate it, she didn't say.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess bring it to a pet store or something like that.
That would be very frightening. That would be very unexpected and frightening.
Yeah, I don't mind snakes at all, but an unexpected snake is something different. That would freak me out a little bit. How does that happen? I mean, can you buy a cobra at Amazon?
I don't think so.
I got a guy.
Do you really?
Yeah, I got a cobra guy.
Like in a sealed pack. Yeah, that I don't get it.
I would guess she's in India. The package probably came from somewhere near her neighborhood. Somebody left the box unopened with a video game controller. A snake made its way into the damn thing. The guy who closed the box never noticed a snake.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that makes
There's
sense.
snakes all over the place in that part of the world. It just made its way in there. No one saw the bastard.
Yeah, I always think it's impressive when you see the snakes and stuff like in the car engines all tangled up.
Oh, yeah.
They get everywhere.
You have MIT Jesus. He's the guy that busted us for the sauna thing. And he just said, okay, go ahead, be ignorant and wrong, I guess.
We're not wrong. We're right. You're wrong.
We know the term. Can we get credit for that? We know how it's supposed to be pronounced.
It just sounds dumb.
If you say sauna, you are wrong.
I also, you and I have also, Nick, got in trouble for saying karaoke instead of karaoke.
Also wrong. Karaoke is wrong.
Why add all the extra syllables?
What is this now? We got to go. I really dislike this fashion crap, so I won't be spending much time on this one. There's a new set of cute, trendy blue jeans out there designed to look like your fly is down.
That's the worst. Why would you want that?
Yeah, 30 years ago, they could have done. They probably would have done a stupid news story on like the O Brothers or whatever the morning show was on 93.7 about how you can buy jeans with holes in them. I remember that infuriated my dad. He just did not understand. Why would you ever buy jeans that had holes in them?
Yeah, the old-timers weren't able to jump on board with that one. I don't know about you chicks, but the older we dudes get, the more we walk around town naturally with our barn doors open. I know I have that problem from time to time. Someone has to tell me that I'm trolling, and I didn't know it.
Boy, I haven't done that in a long time.
So anyway, a Japanese company has come out with this stupid gimmick. Jeans designed to look like your fly is down. Your fly isn't open, it just looks like it is.
Yeah, what's the point? It's like
there is none.
I'm almost an exhibitionist.
Yeah.
I don't effing know. I don't effing know where they're going with that.
Because I hate it when your jeans bunch up and it looks like you've got a weirdly placed boner, like higher than it should be.
Sure, that can happen.
I'm not a fan of that. I bet you could buy jeans someday that'll have that. Look, the fake boner. There's nothing you can do about it.
Fake boner jeans.
That's the worst.
$90.
They're on their way. Oh, hell, they'll be $400 at this point. Christ almighty. I didn't even check the price on the fly open jeans. I bet they're hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Florida trying to end it up against the wall, which would be fitting. 3 seconds to go. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
A dream 30 years in the making is a reality. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup. Lord Stanley is coming home. You always will have a place in South Florida. The Panthers have won the Stanley Cup for the first time in franchise history. Yeah! Stanley Cup champions!
For the love of Christ, get a hold of yourself.
Well, they're excited there on the Panthers radio network.
It's coming home.
So, well, yeah, that means it is. That's the... Sorry to bother anybody, upset anybody, but Florida is the state of hockey. With what the Tampa Bay Lightning did in the last few years, Florida's been to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. Florida is the state of hockey, so it is coming home. That's not Randy Moeller. What happened to Randy Moeller?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
He's still doing his thing, right? I read an article about him not too long ago.
Is he working for a different club? Because for many years, Randy Moeller did the radio call. Or maybe he did television.
Maybe he did, yeah.
Yeah, he was a TV guy.
Okay. Wait, and some of you are saying, who? Red Deer Randy Moeller played in the NHL for many years, and he found a real niche calling Panther games years ago, and he would throw in funny, catchy, cute pop culture catchphrases when a goal was scored. We used to play the audio a lot on this show.
He was awesome, or he is awesome. And he would have viewers would start to send him suggestions to throw some of those in.
Yeah, he was very funny. We had him on air a couple of times.
Where's the meatloaf? That was a good one. His delivery is so good.
Still doing television, not radio. Sorry, Canada. You just couldn't quite get her done again. Again, Canadian NHL team gets to the Cup final, and they couldn't quite get her done. It would have been a historic comeback for the Oilers instead. The Florida Panthers win Game 7 at home by a final of 2-1. We'll tell you more about it here when Randy Shaver, Janel Klein jump into the mix. The Twins start a series in Arizona tonight. We'll talk all about that with Dick Bremer, who will join us at 7:30. And one more note here. We had something or another in the stupid news, some kind of scientific study, again with the studies. A study that said girls, women with larger cans sweat less than gals with less cargo hanging off of them, okay? Got a text from a lady listener who says she calls BS on that. She says, I'm bigger chested, and by the time I get home, my sports bra is nasty soaked. We need pockets in our sports bras to put cold packs in. She's saying the larger chested women sweat way more than, and she goes after smaller chested women here. She says, we sweat way more than those smallies do. You smallies have nothing on us, she says.
Yeah, I always thought it was the other way around.
Is there a rivalry, Ashley, between small-chested women and the ones who are carrying around serious parties up top?
No.
No rivalry?
So. No.
You've never looked at a gal from across the bar with big mega cans and said, I hate that bitch.
No. It's usually just like girls with small boobs wanting bigger boobs and girls with bigger boobs wanting smaller boobs.
Word. And Josh, you were joking around. You said you had a buddy texting you fun slang terms for boobs.
Yeah, the first one he sent was yard donkey. He said I'd never heard that before.
Oh, my gosh.
The one that I will always cherish, I was taught when I was a young kid. My dad had a buddy who referred to boobs as lungs. Look at the lungs on that one. That always struck me funny, and that's always going to be my all-time favorite. Boy, she's got a set of lungs on her.
Boss Lady Sheezus said there is a rivalry, Ashley.
Oh.
There's the itty-bitty,
committee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the big boob bitches.
I didn't know we didn't like each other.
So when's the meetings for that? Is it like Tuesday, Wednesday type deal?
I'll show up and moderate.
I hear you. Here we go. We got to take a break. Cubby's News is coming up next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
America starts the day with America in the Morning.
Pending home sales numbers, they tanked in April, but there
Hi,
are
I'm John Trout, your host for the latest news, politics, entertainment, business, and weather.
High-octane action in the dust. A new film puts...
Our staff of correspondents provide a fast-paced look at the world with specialized reports from where news happens.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Amazon.
Concise, accurate, and fresh each day.
America in the Morning, the podcast, available wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
When the suspect was asked why he did what he did, the suspect stated that he is a bad person online.
Here's a guy that can hold a grudge. A New Jersey man faces an attempted murder charge after allegedly flying to Florida and attacking a fellow gamer with a hammer over an online dispute. The two never met in person before the suspect showed up at the victim's home over the weekend, apparently to confront that victim, Nassau County Sheriff Bill Leeper said. The incident is believed to have originated from an online altercation, said Leeper, calling the case a weird one.
What makes this incident particularly noteworthy is that it originated from an online altercation. The suspect flew from Newark, New Jersey to Florida, apparently to confront the victim in person.
The suspect, 20-year-old Edward Kang, allegedly gained entry into the victim's home through an unlocked door and, wearing all black clothes, gloves, and a mask, attacked him with a hammer when the victim got up from gaming to go take a dump. They say this happened late Saturday or early Sunday.
Attacked him with a hammer.
Oh, he's trying to take a dump.
The victim, who's believed to be around the same age as Kang, was able to wrestle the assailant to the ground.
The victim's stepfather reported being awakened by screams for help. When he went to see what was going on, he found his stepson on the ground, struggling with the attacker who was in possession of a hammer.
Doesn't surprise me the stepdad was a hero in that story. He also allegedly asked how much jail time he received for breaking and entering and assault, just looking to find out his future there. Leeper said, "I'd say, Mr. Kang, it will be a long, long time before you play video games again."
Man, stories like these are always so nuts because he had so much time to reconsider what he was about to do.
He had to pack his bags. He had to buy a plane ticket. He had to wait at the airport. He had to... Now, this argument was video game related.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was video game related, but that's how they communicated, through the video game. So maybe they started talking politics or something.
That somehow makes it worse.
He's a crazy person, Josh. A crazy person.
Well, he might need some help. Like this guy, a Florida man, arrested after he broke into his ex-girlfriend's home, smashed her fish tank, and then flushed the poor fish down the toilet.
Oh, no. Man. What did the fish do to you?
Nothing at all. He was trying to hurt her. The victim told officials 29-year-old Brett Dahl broke into the house through a window 2:30 a.m. and went nuts. He threw a picture frame at her. He then pushed her into a closet door and began knocking everything off the kitchen counter, destroying other items, including the TV, thermostat, 2 ceiling fans, and some dishware, among other items.
He's a mature kid we're dealing with here.
He then smashed the victim's $300 beta fish tank containing her fish Bean. Then she told officials she heard Dahl flush the tank where it's assumed Bean was flicked. Next, Dahl grabbed her phone and took off, but he wasn't done yet. As he was leaving, he kicked and shattered her vehicle's headlight and then smashed one of the car's windows before he left in his friend's Jaguar.
Was this like a teenage breakup?
Well, no, he's 29. I mean, it was it was his ex. I don't know how recent that was, but...
you don't have to be a teenager to act like that anymore, do you, Josh?
Unfortunately, no. That seems to have changed in the last few years. Speaking of beans, the world's most famous bean is back. One of Chicago's most popular tourist attractions, known as the Bean, reopened to the public Sunday after nearly a year of renovations. The bean-shaped sculpture and popular selfie magnet is formerly known as Cloud Gate and weighs 110 tons. That's a big one.
Are you familiar with the Bean?
I've never seen it in person, but I've certainly seen it online.
It's pretty cool.
A much-loved professional mime who entertained SeaWorld visitors for 36 years.
Wow, a mime. Yeah, you don't hear about those characters anymore.
No.
He shared his heartbreak after being suddenly fired from his job that he loved. Lynn Fry, who's known as Lynn the Mime, garnered a huge following of his own after his long tenure of performing to crowds visiting the Florida theme park. But when Lynn arrived at work recently, he said he was scolded by a security guard for riding his bike, and something he's done for many years. For some reason, a disagreement ensued, which ultimately cost him his job. Lynn claims he wasn't given an opportunity to tell SeaWorld bosses his side of the story, and he was terminated without consolation from SeaWorld directly. He said he was also denied the opportunity to perform one last time, which was his only request. As for what he said happened, the mime was quoted as saying, quote, he said. According to the artist, the security guard went to HR and reported Fry cursed at him and threw his bike. But the longtime professional refuted those allegations and claims he didn't swear at the guard or throw his bike. In fact, Lynn the Mime had some harsh words to say about the security guard and how he felt he was treated when he said, quote, as you can tell, he was upset. Mm-hmm. Lynn says he's devastated, but is trying to look at the bright side as his plight has spurred support from thousands online who are asking SeaWorld to give him his job back.
I'd like to see his act.
I would too.
Never seen a mime in person.
Oh, they're so fun to watch.
I don't think I've ever seen one in person either, but I'm not ashamed to admit that I find that stuff kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the ones I've seen on TV, especially when it's a real good one.
Yes.
Fun and interesting.
Josh, you said you haven't seen the Bean either. That's where you can go see both. Chicago.
They have mimes in Chicago?
Oh, yeah. This cool. The street performers. Yeah, super cool.
I've been to Chicago. I guess I missed all of it. A young woman has died in a freak accident during a workout at a gym in Indonesia. This is incredible. It happened a week ago today, about 1 p.m. The 22-year-old stumbled backward off a treadmill and then plunged to her death from a third-floor window behind her that was open, and it shouldn't have been.
Oh, my gosh.
I didn't send you the video. I mean, you can search it if you want. I mean, a young lady dies.
So it's like an open window next to the treadmill.
It was too close. It was right behind the treadmill. It was posted on X. If you're interested, you can see it there. It shows the woman running on the treadmill alongside other gym goers. As she stepped back to wipe her face with a towel, the still running treadmill continued to move her backward. She then stumbled off the treadmill, lost her balance, and fell out of a window behind her, which just happened to be open.
Jesus, yeah, I don't think I need to watch that.
Nah.
The gym had pasted stickers to warn people not to open the windows, but it was damaged, they said, and I guess it could have just popped open. The gym is now under investigation for alleged negligence.
F me running.
My wife has worked at gyms, and sadly there's been people who have died on the treadmill, but, it's from like a heart incident. Never falling out of a window. But when you watch the video, it's like, why would they be so close to the window like that? Federal prosecutors secured their first guilty plea from an alleged drug smuggling ring. They say mailed pills of fentanyl hidden inside stuffed animals.
Drug dealers are going to find their way to get it past law enforcement. So stuffed animals this time. This is unique as far as I'm concerned that we've seen in this area as far as stuffed animals.
A 25-year-old St. Paul man pleaded guilty last Tuesday to conspiracy to distribute the drug. 8 others from the Twin Cities have pleaded not guilty to the same charge. Federal authorities say the defendants were involved in mailing fentanyl from Arizona to Minnesota from August of 2022 to December 14th of last year. The charges followed the seizure of 280,000 pills, which were sent in 6 packages through the Postal Service from Phoenix to the Twin Cities. Authorities called the fentanyl seizure, which amounted to 66 pounds with an estimated value of $2.2 million, the largest ever in Minnesota.
With 66 pounds of that stuff off of the street, we're saving a lot of lives.
According to the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, just 2 milligrams of fentanyl can kill a person.
Did they have any favorite characters to use as far as stuffed animals smuggling their drugs for them?
Good question. Yeah, I don't know which I'd pick if I had a choice of which animal shows up with some fentanyl pills.
I mean, the first one that comes to mind would be Elmo. Right?
Very popular still.
Yeah, I was thinking of a Muppet. The Cookie Monster might be kind of fun. Get some. Ooh, Oscar the Grouch.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
A man who claimed his genitals accidentally slipped out of his shorts multiple times in a Surrey, England mall 2 years ago has been found guilty of indecent exposure. Turns out the judge didn't buy it. In the decision, the judge said Thomas Cooper's statements were rehearsed, fanciful, and unreliable. I do not believe him. And his evidence does not raise a reasonable doubt, the judge said. Evidence considered over the course of a 2-day hearing included footage from the mall showing Cooper looking at his crotch as he approaches a bench, pulling up the leg of his shorts before sitting down and looking at his crotch area 4 more times while seated. Witnesses testified observing him seated at one of the mall's couches with his penis outside his shorts. The man looked right at one of the victims. She and another witness called security after seeing the man a second time 30 minutes later, once again exposing his genitalia while on a different couch. He said he bought some new workout shorts and he wasn't used to them yet.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know how it goes.
Can't figure them out.
Yeah. There was like a mesh thing in there. He wasn't exactly sure. He didn't feel it coming out, even though he was looking down there a whole bunch, clearly seeing that he was out there for the world.
Pecker just won't stay in there.
Yeah, and that judge, she's a tough one. She wasn't buying it. Let's see. Summer on Peacock's Girls 5 Eva. Busy Phillips is 45. I think she's pretty great.
Yeah, she's very funny.
J.J. Evans on Good Times. Jimmy Walker's looking dynamite at 77. It's field trip day for Sits on Baby Jesus, so sending all the good vibes as she takes 22 youngsters to the beach.
Oh man.
No, good luck.
She's going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
Welcome, baby Miller Lite Jesus, the newest member of the Brotherhood, born at 2:30 a.m. this morning. And congrats to Mom and Dad, Miller Lite Jesus and Jesus. Happy early birthday to All-American Jesus, who'll be spending the 4th in Spain. Happy 43rd birthday to Doll's favorite garbage-hauling firefighter, Sandy. Happy 41st to Hot Oil Jesus from Sippin' on Gin and Jesus. And happy birthday to my guy, Bros. That's 93X News.
All-time great broadcaster and Minnesota Twins ambassador, Dick Bremer.
That's a heck of a call right there.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
There it goes! On the Half-Ass Morning Show.
1-2. Called out on strikes at the bottom of the zone. Geloff isn't happy with DJ Rayburn. And he's not done as he walks back to the clubhouse and he puts up the rock and roll signs.
All right, here we go. Tuesdays continue to be a big damn deal around here. That's because Janel Klein shows up on Tuesdays. Hello, Jungle Jane.
Hello.
Of course, Randy Shaver is here, and we get to talk. Hi, Randy.
Present.
And we get to talk Twins baseball with Dick Bremer. How are you, Mr. Bremer?
I'm doing fine. I'm down here in the hockey hotbed of the world, otherwise known as the state of Florida. And, just heading home today. It'll be good to get home.
You know, we were just joking around, and we're going to talk about the Stanley Cup a little bit later on. We were joking. I mean, it is no joke, though, anymore. I mean, really, Florida is the state of hockey. With what the Tampa Bay Lightning have done, Florida Panthers, back-to-back Eastern Conference champions. Last night they claimed their first Stanley Cup trophy. You can't argue it, can you?
No.
Well, 3 Stanley Cups in the last 5 years have been handed off to Florida teams, 2 for Tampa and the one last night. It was an awful lot of fun to watch. I'm sure a lot of the listeners watched it last night as well. And, one of these days, it'll be the Wild, hopefully, that'll get there and bring the Stanley Cup home to Minnesota.
Wouldn't that be something? That would be a hell of a deal. Are you heading home because you have Independence Day plans, Dick Bremer?
No, although I'm going to rejoin my veteran baseball team that I play for. We got a game coming up Thursday night, and going to get home and play for them. And 4th of July. I don't have any plans, but it'll be my first 4th of July in a long, long time where I'm not at a baseball game.
Yeah, that's kind of why I thought maybe you would make special plans. Isn't that something? Yeah, 40 years? 40 years since you've had Independence Day to yourself, I would imagine.
Yep. And so we're looking forward to that and just generally getting home. It's nice to come to Florida. My son is down here in Pensacola. He's a minor league broadcaster, so we've spent some time with him. But yesterday the heat index was 111, so it'll be good to get back to highs in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, it's hockey weather.
Yeah.
Randy
the
Shaver.
entire time I've been down here, a week and a half, I haven't seen any kids skating on the rinks.
Yeah, on the ponds.
I bet not. I'll tell you what, the next time you talk to Randy Shaver, now we're off next week for Independence Day.
Right.
Dick Bremer, the next time you talk to Randy Shaver, he'll be a retiree from television.
I know.
Yep.
I know. He and I need to talk. I've been retired now for a few months, and I've got some tips as to where the early bird specials are and all that type of stuff.
All right. That's what I want to hear.
You two would make a hell of a team just running wild from town to town as a couple of retirees. I'll tell you what. To make a reality show.
Wow.
Make a reality show.
I do want to wish Randy the very best in retirement. A great career, and he's meant so much to the community, and so he will enjoy retirement, and he'll miss parts of his job as I have missed parts of mine, but congratulations on just a wonderful, wonderful career.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, we made him an anchor.
Yes. Yep.
I bet he regrets that, actually.
It was all you guys.
We pretty much laid down the foundation for that anchor gig.
I don't know. I bet the last 4 years he regrets that.
Oh, I do.
And no one could blame you.
As we discussed yesterday, by the time Dick joins us again, Randy will be retired from television. He'll just be Randy Shaver of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Sounds sad, doesn't it, Janelle?
Something I know you never wanted.
Nope.
It sounds so lonely, so sad.
Well, we can give you a radio name.
Oh my God,
wow.
yes.
There you go.
Well, there's the Ass Man, so you want to do something different than the Ass Man?
You gave me a radio name.
Just the Ass Man from now on. All right.
Dr. Ass Man. Change it up a little bit.
Speaking of that, and speaking of hockey, I'm not sure how many of you or your listeners are aware of this, but it was fun to watch the guys carrying the Stanley Cup around the rink last night after the Panthers won the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
On the Stanley Cup, and this goes back to, I think the early 60s. Of course, all the players' names are engraved in the cup, but so too, the bench people, the coaches, and all that.
Right.
And somewhere, I think in back-to-back years, somebody for the Montreal Canadiens had his name, and next to it, his title was assistant general manager, but they could not get all of that on the cup, so he is known as Ass Man.
That's awesome.
I think I'd heard that before. That's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
That's really good.
All right. Dick Bremer, the Twins start a series tonight in Arizona. They'll face the National League champion Diamondbacks. What a run they had last season. Game 1 tonight is at 8:40. Joe Ryan starts with the Twins. What's the story with the Diamondbacks this season? I can't say that I've seen too much of them.
Well, I haven't either. Looking ahead to this series reminds me of when the Diamondbacks came to Target Field late in August last year, and they looked like they had completely fallen apart. The Twins swept them. They couldn't score any runs. They looked like they had peaked and might not win another game. And then, lo and behold, in October, they nearly won the World Series. So I guess it was a reminder of a lesson we should have learned a long time ago. How you're playing in August, June, really has no bearing once you get into the tournament at the end. If you can somehow catch a spark, you can have a nice long postseason run, and the Diamondbacks almost did that last year.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Absolutely. And I remember that series. I do remember that series being wildly unimpressed by the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then, like you said, look what they did.
I would say this about Arizona. They're probably somewhat disappointing. Corbin Carroll, who had just a great year last year, the young rookie outfielder, has not had a very good year for them. They've got some good pieces, obviously, Christian Walker and Ketel Marte and those guys. They signed Jordan Montgomery late. He has not been very good for them, but I mean, give the guy a break. He didn't have any spring training.
Right.
We're going to see Brandon Paff tonight, who's had a pretty decent start. But I mean, Arizona, from what I've seen, I play a lot of fantasy baseball. So
here we go.
I like to watch players and all this kind of. I have to be honest. I have not been really super impressed by them. And obviously their record shows that. They're 38-40, and they've been kind of nondescript so far this baseball season. So Twins may be playing them at the right time, I guess is what I'm saying.
I hear you. Season to season, guys get hot and cold. That Corbin Carroll's a great example.
Struggled.
And we have examples of that here in town. Matt Wallner, who had such a great year last year. Wallner give me the other name we were talking about last week. Have they been brought up to the big league?
Julian?
Not Julian.
I'm sorry.
Randy, you were talking up and down about him last week.
Brooks Lee.
Yep.
Yeah, he has not been brought up.
No, okay. Dick Bremer, do you see these guys getting a crack at it soon?
I do, especially the way that Wallner's been punishing the baseball at AAA. This is a pretty deep lineup, and this lineup has actually done really well after that very, very slow start, the Twins lineup. And, of course, the addition of Royce Lewis off the injured list has really helped. This is a Twins team that right now they're on a pace to win a couple more ball games than they won last year, 8 games above 500. But who in the world thought that the Cleveland Guardians would have the second-best record in baseball? Yeah. I mean, in Cleveland right now, they're probably going, what was it, that Francona guy? What was his first name again?
Right. Yeah, they've just been tearing it up. Oh, not to put the pressure on you, Dick Bremer. I was looking for your thoughts on Randy Shaver's retirement, and now, all these great things are closing out. Randy Shaver's television career, right? Oakland Coliseum. So the Twins played their very last series in Oakland Coliseum over the weekend. Kid, could you gather thoughts on that that being a thing of the past now?
Without talking about the possums.
Right. Can you even
without talking about the possums, because that's the first thing that popped into my mind. Well, I feel bad for the fans, right? I mean, we went through it here with the North Stars when they left. Almost went through it, when the contraction threat almost rubbed the Twins out. and it's just it's a bad deal, and there weren't enough fans there. You can argue whether ownership contributed to the demise of the franchise in Oakland, but it's really peculiar because they're going to be playing in Sacramento now in the interim until if they get a new ballpark built in Las Vegas. So it's really sad because I always feel for the fans, regardless of the sport, when a franchise leaves, and that's true whether it was the Colts in Baltimore or what have you. It's really a sad deal.
It sucks. I feel the exact same way every time we talk about the Athletics. I feel bad for the city and the fans, and I will miss the Oakland Athletics. I will, as much as I hated them in the 80s and early 90s. I mean, that was a massive rivalry.
Well, wasn't it fun hating them?
Yes,
they
it was.
Were good, and the Twins were good, and that was at the time, that was predated by a few years the rivalry the Twins had with the White Sox within the division.
Right.
But, man, those games were great with La Russa managing against Tom Kelly.
Yes, they were. They were so much fun, so I'll miss that. So you tell us one final time, although I'm sure we'll discuss them again after the end of this season when it's really all said and done there in Oakland. Was the Coliseum really as bad as everybody says it was? You made many trips there. Yes, it was.
Yes. They had, because the Raiders, I mean, it was a good ballpark years ago, and then when the Raiders moved back to Oakland, they had to they didn't have to, but they agreed to kind of tear it all apart. And the Raiders actually ruled the ballpark. It was, I guess, maybe the last dual-purpose stadium that, still had NFL football playing in it. But what they did in the visiting TV booth, in all the TV booths, I think, is they had carpeted tabletops. I kept score. I mean, that's what I did. Baseball announcers keep score, and you had to bring like a clipboard because they had my personal opinion, it was like repurposed from a 1973 Ford Maverick. And so you couldn't write on it, so you had to bring your own clipboard just to keep score. No, it was not a good ballpark.
Carpeted tabletops. I can't even understand what was the purpose of that.
That was like a 70s,
well, that was they told us it was because the coaches during the football season didn't want to have the hard surfaces. They didn't want the echo in the booth. And so they wanted soft surfaces everywhere.
That was going to be my guess, because sometimes if you buy like a broadcast desk, they'll put something like that on there to avoid reflections from the microphone.
I can remember in elementary school, we had a classroom. I swear to God, we had a classroom that had carpet on the desktops.
Oh.
And I think one of the reasons why was that when you put your elbows on the desktop, it wasn't on like the hard surface. Like when you took a nap.
Yeah.
Like every third grader or whatever it was, second grader, you had your nap time, you'd put your elbows, you'd lay your head down, but it wouldn't be on that hard desk.
That must have been very tempting.
Yeah.
So you think you were in a classroom with carpeted desktops?
I think so.
Oh, that'd be so comfortable.
When I was in elementary school.
I used to pack my backpack with T-shirts.
Oh, that was the best move.
Yeah, that's the move.
Make yourself a nice little pillow.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, I would snooze through the majority of my high school. What else is going on? A couple weeks before they reveal the rosters for the All-Star Game, and I was reading an article from the Pioneer Press about what Twin might squeeze their way in there. Wouldn't it be cool if Royce Lewis made it despite only playing, 20 games? He's just been destroying everything that crosses his path. That would be a cool thing to see. But more or less, I'm seeing Carlos Correa mentioned and Griffin Jacks.
Yeah, I'd say Correa.
It's tough if you're the Griffin Jackses of the world. It's tough to get into the All-Star game because it's not an undefined role, but it's not a high-profile role being a setup guy. And this goes back to in 1991 and 2 and 3. Carl Willis, who's now the pitching coach for Cleveland, he had some really, really good years for the Twins, and I kept lobbying for him to get to the All-Star game, but it's really tough to do that. There are so many good closers out there, and you've got ostensibly a 9-inning game, and so the teams pick closers rather than setup guys. But Griffin's just been awesome for the Twins this year, so I hope he makes it.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I neglected to mention that Joe Ryan is mentioned, is thrown in there. Joe Ryan's had a nice season, no doubt.
Yeah.
So
I think Correa right now, I mean, I'm sure shortstop is a very competitive position when it comes to the All-Star game, but, I mean, Correa really, where would this team be if he had not had, the kind of season that he had, or that stretch? He had like that week and a half where he just was on fire and, kind of got them back on track win-wise. So.
Yeah, he does have a lot of competition at shortstop. You got Bobby Witt Jr., you got, what's his name, Gunther Henderson? What the hell is his name?
Gunnar
Gunther. From 1876. Comes Gunther.
I'd be curious, if you don't mind me asking a poll of those of us on the air here today, how many of you will watch the baseball All-Star game?
I will watch it.
I will watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never miss it, Dick Bremer.
What else do I got to do?
Man's retired.
That's right. He'll be watching replays of the 1975 All-Star.
You know what? I would watch that.
Just watch them all.
I would watch replays of All-Star games from like the late 60s through the 70s, for sure. Because that was my time growing up. I would love to watch that.
Randy's going to do a lot
and it was a big deal if, whichever team, American or National League, won the game. That was a big deal back then. It really was just a step and a half behind the World Series in terms of, the magnitude of the game itself.
Right.
Absolutely.
What I wouldn't give to watch Roberto Clemente play. I mean, I was such a big fan of Roberto Clemente growing up, and to watch those guys, and not just him, but all of those guys in that era of the 70s, I would be glued to the set. I wonder if MLB Network ever reruns those kind of games, because I would watch those back to back. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, I love watching the classic games as well. Who was the player that told the story about their very first All-Star experience playing for the National League, and they walk into the dugout and Pete Rose is sitting there, and Pete Rose waves him over and says, "Let me tell you one thing, kid. We do not lose to the American League." Who was that player? Yeah, I can't recall.
Wow.
Well, I remember when I was working at Channel 11 as a weekend sports guy, I somehow talked him into sending me and a camera guy to the All-Star game in Montreal. Kent Herbeck, the only All-Star game he played in. And in the media session the day before, and this is how the magnitude of the game was so much greater than it is now, the National League always won, right? The American League won like once in 25 years.
Right.
And the National League always won. And so the captain for the American League that year was Carlton Fisk, and he was talking about, well, it's really just an exhibition game. It really, it doesn't count. It's supposed to be fun, and that's what I hope the game is tomorrow night. This was on Monday. Mm-hmm. Then Pete Rose, the National League captain, went to the microphone. He said, "I can't believe what I just heard. Losing sucks." even in an All-Star game. But that was because the National League kept winning all the time and the American League kept losing.
Yeah. But, again, to go back to your question, Dick Bremer, I never miss the All-Star game. I still really, really love it. So it's July 16th, I think.
What do you think the chances are, Dick, that Royce Lewis gets invited to the home run hitting contest?
Oh, I forget about that now.
I think he'd be a great choice for that home run hitting contest.
If he wants to do that, then I'd be glad for him to do that. But I cringe a little bit because he's locked in a really good spot right now, and I don't know whether there's any validity to the home run derby screwing up a player's swing, and nobody wants that to happen, right?
Right. I get the same feeling.
But to get that opportunity to be on that national stage so that people can see him, it'd be pretty cool. I understand Dick's hesitancy about that because we have seen guys. What was the kid at Texas? Hamilton. Yeah, we've seen that before, where those guys in the second half of the season have been in trouble with their swing. But God, Royce Lewis, he's missed so much time here early. It'd be if he doesn't make the All-Star, and he won't. But to be in that home run hitting contest would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Josh Hamilton. Let's remind everybody, Josh Hamilton, did not win the home run derby that year. Justin Morneau did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Hamilton hit like 38 home runs in round one or something. It was just insane to watch. Yes, you're right. That was the year that Morneau took home the golden donut or whatever you win when you win the I don't know what it was. The San Francisco Giants honored Willie Mays last night during their first home game since his death, and we haven't talked to you, Dick Bremer, since the passing of Willie Mays. At least I don't think we have talked to you. Your thoughts on Willie Mays passing?
Well, he was just such a great player, and I got a chance to see him play when the family was living in Missouri. We'd go to St. Louis. I got a chance to see him play. My favorite story is just a few years ago, and I mentioned it on the telecast, but the Twins were in San Francisco, and Barry Bonds was in the locker room, and I wanted to chat with him about Max Kepler because Max Kepler had worked out with Barry Bonds in the offseason, and Bonds just was very rude and just a real jerk to me. And I'm walking out, and there's a little side room by the entrance to the Giants clubhouse, and there, sitting all by himself, was Willie Mays. So I got a chance I said hello from all your fans in Minneapolis, and he invited me in, and I got a chance to spend 10 minutes alone with the great Willie Mays, and that's one of the highlights of my career.
I'll be damned.
Dang.
Well, why was Bonds such a
jerk?
Jerk.
That's just his nature, I guess.
Well, I don't think I was alone in his, being a jerk to people. So It was just really distressing because I was trying to get some material for the broadcast that day, and he just gave me the cold shoulder to be kind. But then the payoff was Willie Mays told me the story in the '65 All-Star game in Bloomington a long, long time ago.
Right.
Gene Mauch ended up managing the team, and Gene said, well, this really isn't my team. His team finished second the year before. So he asked Willie to make the lineup. Now, he's got Banks, Billy Williams, Clemente, all these Hall of Famers, Stargell, so on and so forth. And Willie said, hey, if I'm going to make out the lineup, I'm going to hit leadoff. And so he put himself on top of the lineup that day for the All-Star game in Bloomington, and he hit a home run in his first at-bat.
That's awesome.
So cool.
That's awesome.
I used to be a Barry Bonds defender. Those days are over now that I found out he was a jerk to Dick Bremer. If I ever see Barry Bonds, I'm going to kick him in his ass and run like hell.
Well, you've got a chance now because I've seen pictures of him. He's not nearly as big as he used to be, so he must be on some kind of a diet to have lost all that weight since he was hitting 70 home runs.
And I'm bulking up every day, aren't I, Josh? Look at me.
Right in the middle there, especially.
Right in the middle.
He's swole.
I got karate moves. I got all kinds of stuff I've learned lately. All right. Before we go, I guess this is a big deal. Does he get to appeal? Edwin Diaz, suspended for 10 games for foreign substances on his hand while he was pitching a ball game the other night. Has he appealed this yet? What's the situation? Anyone know?
I think he will appeal it. I don't like his chances because it's the umpire's discretion. And I'm curious, I should know this, but I don't know whether he was caught in a game in New York or not, because the Twins had that situation. Was it last year? I guess Domingo Germán was caught in a game against the Twins, and the umpires basically did nothing because the game was in New York and they wanted to get out of there alive. And so I'd be curious. I should know this, whether the game that Diaz was caught in, whether that was in New York or on the road.
I wish I could remember, Dick Bremer, but I do not.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, that was the silliest situation last year against the Yankees with that Germán. Yeah. That was so frustrating and such a bunch of nonsense that he was left in the, like Dick said, the umpires didn't have the seeds to pull the trigger on an ejection. They went against everything they said they were going to do with a player who was caught with a foreign substance. That really aggravated me for a long time. Still does. Diaz said he had nothing more than sweat, dirt, and rosin on his hand or his glove. I don't know. I guess the Germán thing got me excited, obviously, because the umpires did not follow through on what we were told they were going to. But I don't get too excited about this type of thing in general because it doesn't seem like anyone really knows what they're doing with this anymore. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a subjective thing for the umpires, and I've been down here watching some AA games, and they check in between innings at the AA level too. So they're trying to clean it up. But when someone's caught, you gotta, Joe Niekro got 10 games for having an emery board in his back pocket.
He tried so hard for them not to find it, too.
My God.
That was so funny.
Empty your pockets, he says. All right.
I love it when his hands just came out wide.
Yeah.
Like, what? How did that get there?
I'll empty my pockets for you. There you go. Oh, what was that? A friggin' emery board.
Oh, my God.
Tom Kelly tried to distract the ump. Hey, look over here. I'm Tom Kelly. I'm the manager. I want to argue with you about something else, something completely different. I want to argue with you.
And it wasn't caught on camera, but the story goes Herbeck tried to put his spikes over the emery board when it fell at his feet.
Those guys were fun. All right, Dick Bremer, again, we won't be visiting next week. We hope you have a great Independence Day, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. We appreciate your time, as always.
And I and the rest of Twins territory wish Randy the very best, and most of us will be watching Friday night.
There you go. All right, thank you, Dick.
You got it.
We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Friday, Randy's final, of course, Janelle. We talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, I'm excited for him.
I'm excited to have him off television, too.
Maybe you'll start watching
Channel 11, news viewers, everybody.
I watch a lot of television, and he's one of my least favorite characters.
Exactly. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
You know what, Randy? I think I'd rather watch Shorzy with all of his jokes. I'd rather watch Randy's final. All right, what else is going on? We talked a little bit about it with Dick. Sorry, Canada. Couldn't quite get her done.
Amazing comeback. I mean, to stretch it to 7 games it was pretty remarkable. The way they dominated the last 2 games was incredible, but not last night. Last night was a slugfest defensive game and hard fought and fun.
3 seconds to go. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
Just wetting their pants there in the booth. So the 1993 Montreal Canadiens can celebrate again. They're still the last Canadian NHL club to win the Stanley Cup.
That's amazing.
Now, football folks, NFL folks, always talk about how Bob Greasy and Larry Zonka of the 72 Miami Dolphins, cracking the champagne bottles at the end of every season to celebrate being the only undefeated team in an NFL season. Do you think the players from the 93 Canadiens do the same type of a thing?
I don't think so.
No?
Because the Miami Dolphins, that was like once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
You're going to see something like that. Eventually, some Canadian team is going to win the Stanley Cup. And I think Montreal probably wishes it would happen just because, that's a long time.
So they stop getting phone calls this time of year? I bet this time of year they get phone calls to talk about it.
Yeah, they probably do. But, I mean, I'm sure that the entire country of Canada is just like, cannot wait for this, whatever the streak, how long the streak is now, 31 years, 21 years?
Well, I don't know, 93 to...
Trying to do the math, 31 years?
Yeah.
It's been 31 years since a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. That is amazing.
Well, as we noted, it gets harder and harder to do when they add 4 new American teams every year. You know what I mean?
But still.
There's arithmetic involved there.
You would think at some point along the way that streak would have been broken.
Some great players on that 93 Canadiens team as well. Vincent Damphousse, Brian Bellows was on that team. Guy Carbonneau. Of course, the goaltender was Patrick Waugh. Who am I missing? John LeClaire, Mike Keane. That was a great team. But last night, Panthers got the first goal of the night, and I think that was massive for them to get on the board first. Absolutely massive. And that was Brandon Verheege, probably their best player. Got a deflection goal. Edmonton comes back, gets a breakaway goal pretty quickly. The game winner was, what's his name? Reinhardt. Finkel and Reinhardt, I think his name is. He got the game winner.
But there's a lot of,
And then
really, basically the rest of the game, it was just...
They just chucked the puck out of the zone and played defense.
Yeah.
Florida absolutely laid back and did nothing in the third period. Just wanted to try to choke the game out, and it worked. Usually that comes back to bite you in the ass. It didn't bite them last night.
They actually got beat in track meets in games, 5 and 6. Edmonton was all over last night, Florida did a much better job of slowing the game down and taking Edmonton really out of their game, because that's what Edmonton loves to do is go fast up and down the ice with all the great players they have. So
yeah, just get it on the boards and hold it.
Yep, you got to give Florida the props for finding a way finally after 2-3 games. Really, they're in the middle where they just had no answer in how to slow Edmonton down.
Conrad McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers won the playoff MVP trophy despite not winning at all. That's
the winner
rare.
Of the Conn Smythe Trophy this year led the playoffs in scoring and broke Wayne Gretzky's assist record for a playoffs.
Yeah,
Connor
boo!
McDavid.
You suck. That's great.
He's the Jerry West of hockey.
Yeah. Can you name now? He's only the 6th NHL player to win the Conn Smythe from a team that lost the final. Can anyone name the last player to do it? It was 2000 plus 3, and the player beat the Wild along the way. Goaltender.
Oh, Jean-Sebastien something or other.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Jean-Sebastien Giguère of the Anaheim Ducks was the last player to win the Conn Smythe despite losing in the Cup Finals. 2003, he had that great series. Yeah. Great run. Going back from there, Ron Hextall of Philadelphia in 1987. Reggie Leach of the Philadelphia Flyers in 1976. And then back to all goalies. Glenn Hall for the Blues in 68. Roger Crozier of Detroit in 1966. So mostly goalies, which makes sense. Goalies, are the guys who are going to carry a club. Mm-hmm. More than anybody else, it's a goalie who's going to carry a club the distance. Ron Hextall in 87. That was a couple years prior to when he tried to kill Chris Chelios on the ice, which was one of the greatest moments in NHL history. I know none of you are going to have any idea what I'm talking about here. Look it up on YouTube. 89 in Philly. Philly and Montreal are playing in the conference finals. And the game is over. I mean, Montreal has a lead to where they're just playing it out. The series is over. Montreal is going to advance to the Cup Finals over Philly. Earlier in the series, Chris Chelios of the Canadiens cheap-shotted the piss out of Brian Propp for the Flyers. And Propp was one of the Flyers' top scorers that year. He was a great player, undersized player. If you don't know Brian Propp, he played here with the North Stars for a while. Small little guy, but he got her done. So Chelios cripples Brian Propp and sends him out for the rest of the series, right? Ron Hextall, who was a psychotic individual in goal for the Flyers, he does not forget that, right? So when the writing is on the wall and the series is over, Chelios is carrying the puck into Philly's zone, called for an offside, everybody lets up, and Hextall comes charging out of the net and did everything he could to kill Chris Chelios on the ice, and it was beautiful. Bobby Smith was on the ice for that. He got double-teamed, which was unfair. The two guys jumped on. Patrick Waugh had beer bottles being thrown at him from the upper tank there in Philly. One of the great moments in NHL history. Ron Hextall just said, you know what? The series is over, Chelios. I'm going to kill you. Were you watching it, Wapple?
Yeah, he comes at him with a stick, too.
Oh, dude, it's beautiful.
The goalie stick coming for your face.
At the last minute, you see Chris Chelios go, oh, my God, no! And Hextall just runs. I miss the old days, as you can tell. There was a dog at the game last night. And it says here, dog at Stanley Cup Game 7 steals the show. Who's the big shot that's getting special treatment and getting to bring their dog to the games? The rest of us couldn't get away with that.
I think he's a famous Instagram star, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Is he now?
Yeah, he's so cute, too. It's up on 93x.com.
He's a celebrity.
Instagram star. Brody, a giant long-haired golden doodle or something like that. He had front row seats.
Oh, yeah, he's big.
He looks like he's loving it, too.
Did you see the dog at the game, Janelle?
I didn't, but my.
Randy Shea. I also watched the entire game. I never saw a dog sitting in the front row. And he's a big dog.
Massive.
Did he have his own seat, or was he sitting on a lap?
He's sitting on some schmuck's lap.
Okay.
It says here he once sat courtside for the NBA finals.
What the hell?
Sat on a lap there, too.
Got into a dance battle with a human, they say here at the NBA finals. All right, look that up if you didn't. I didn't see the dog. How come I want to bring my dog to the game?
Get him an Instagram account. Got to get him famous. Or her.
Her, yeah.
Yeah, get her famous.
Girl dog. She's a pain in the ass. She'd end up in somebody's popcorn box within about 10 seconds. And then I got to discipline her in front of everybody, and I don't like to do that. This is crazy. I didn't know this. Did you guys hear this story before? Matthew Tkachuk of the Florida Panthers, he's now a Stanley Cup champion. He and Jason Tatum, who, a week ago became a champion with the Boston Celtics, they went to school together.
Did we post that picture?
Yes.
What a cool picture.
Went to high school together?
Yep.
It looks like grade school.
Yeah,
all the way
they're
through.
young. On the bus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Grade school all the way high school.
That is an awesome picture.
Josh and I went to different schools together.
We did at different times.
Yeah.
So
Never
cool.
knew you guys had that in common.
So
Both went to school.
Different schools together. So a picture's going around the internet of Tkachuk and Tatum sitting on a school bus together when they were bros.
Huh.
They didn't just go to school together, they were broskies.
It's cool.
Oh, I bet those guys are going to drink. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, they're going to drink.
No one's safe.
It was cool seeing Tkachuk's old man, Keith, in the stands last night, celebrating. What the hell's the kid's name again? Matthews. And his brother, Gunther Tkachuk, was there as well. You guys got a brother plays in the NHL. His name is Gunther, plays for the Ottawa Senators. Did everyone like Alanis Morissette's performance of the national anthems?
Oh, she's a great singer, yeah.
I love her.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she looked great and sounded great.
Oh, she does, yeah.
And I've never been a fan of her music. I never have been. I hated that stuff.
I went to her concert back when Taylor Hawkins was drumming. She put on a good show. Taylor, of course, is incredible.
Rest in peace.
That was a lot of folks were talking online about Alanis Morissette's national anthems. Of course,
I have a couple samples. I don't know if we can play just a portion or if that's offensive to anybody, but
offensive to anybody?
Some people don't like if you shorten it up, so I don't want to piss anybody off. But there's a couple short samples I have.
Okay, I hope
anybody has. I just want to make sure nobody has a feeling on it one way or the other.
I really hope no one that this infuriates anybody. I would hope that you're in a better mental state than that. But sure, yeah, whatever you think.
So here's the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, say does that Star Spangled Banner for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And then, Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
I thought she did great, although I must admit that hearing her sing again is bringing me back to the bringing me back to the mid-'90s when you couldn't escape her music and I wanted to vomit. But anyway.
That was a huge album.
That was. Oh, I hated every second of it.
I enjoyed it.
So did you guys watch? Did you watch her sing?
I watched the video afterwards.
Okay.
I didn't see it last night.
Here's what I took away from it, other than the fact that she sounded great. So, of course, the Canadian folks love to belt out their anthem. They belt that sumbitch out, right? And they're singing their balls off over Alanis Morissette. And a lot of Canadians were at that game last night in Florida. So then next is our national anthem. And the U.S. folks in the arena, they didn't want to be shown up, so they sing their nuts off to our national anthem, something you don't hear very often. You don't. And I think it's because we've become so programmed to, watch whatever latest flavor of the month singer is going to show off their singing voice while doing our we're programmed now to kind of sit there and listen.
Yeah.
I would like it if we kill this idea now of always having, here's Atlantic recording artist. Who gives a pump? Let's just all sing the damn song together like we used to. It'll never happen. It's a pipe dream of mine. But you always hear the Canadian folks belt it out. Yeah. Hearing American folks really belt out the national anthem made me think we need to go back to that. I don't care if Slim Shady, I don't know. Give me a singer. I don't care about the famous singer, whoever it might be.
It does get
Jay-Z, whoever a singer is.
It does get belted out, and everybody's singing just the way you're talking about. But you'd have to go to a U.S. soccer match to see it.
Oh, they do it there?
I didn't understand what you said.
Even if like a boogie with the hoodies singing, they don't want to listen to him?
All, 19,000, 20,000, whatever the crowd, sold out crowd is, everybody sings at the top of their lungs at U.S. soccer matches.
They don't hire the latest hip-hop sensation to come out and...
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked when the XL brings that Staple guy out. He's always there. He's a great singer.
Staple guy?
Yeah, he does it every single year. He does the national anthem.
He carries a stapler with him? Why is he a staple guy?
You see him every single time. Every single year he does the national
staple,
anthem.
as in a mainstay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was covered in staples or something.
I've seen wrestling matches like that. Staple matches.
Yeah.
I've been to games where everybody sings. So I don't know how common it is, but I definitely have been to games where everybody sings national.
Oh, with a singer on the field as well. Oh, I never experienced that. No one makes a sound anymore. That's what I never hear anybody sing the national anthem anymore. I think because we're like, okay, let's see Kelly Clarkson do it or whoever it might be. You have any thoughts on all this stuff, Janel Klein? You have a look on your face. Like you want to say something.
Well, the only thing that I think of with Alanis Morissette is I remember a kid I went to college with, and he wrote like a 10-page paper about that song she sang.
No way.
Called, what is it, Ironic or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he gave all these examples about how none of it's irony, and it's just things that suck.
That's hilarious.
Really?
It was really funny.
Well, that's like a thing,
there's
right?
no irony. It was all bad things that happened.
It was all just coincidental.
Yes.
Really? That's very funny.
I don't know why, but it was so funny at the time.
He wanted to contradict everything that she said in her song. Isn't it ironic?
Yes.
Because it really wasn't irony.
Because it wasn't irony. Like the plane going down or whatever.
Oh, that's funny. We got to get going here shortly. Janel Klein, your little boyfriend, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, walked the runway at a fashion show recently. Did you see that action?
I saw a picture of him somewhere in Europe, I think, right?
Yeah, he was at the Vogue fashion show.
It's the dumbest outfit I may have ever seen.
But he made it look good, I'm sure.
No, he didn't. No, but nobody could. Nobody
Even
could.
Joe Cool couldn't.
Oh.
He traveled to Paris to walk the runway at something called the Vogue World Party or something. He brought the wide receiver here in town, whatever his name is again.
Justin Jefferson. He brought Justin Jefferson with. They both walked the runway, and they both looked absolutely ridiculous.
I thought they looked great.
Oh, I didn't think Justin looked bad. I mean, he did kind of look like he was about to jump into a dojo and do a little karate. But compared to Joe Burrow, I mean, that was ridiculous.
Well, Burrow got the dumber outfit because
by far,
it was
not even close.
It was a suit with an open back like a hospital
and
gown.
he's got his no shirt on underneath.
Well, Jefferson wasn't wearing a shirt. Anyway, I'm not just referencing the outfits. Yeah. When the two of them were doing the model strut or whatever you call that, the runway walk, they both looked absolutely ridiculous doing that.
Well, they look more miserable to me.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they just look like, God dang it, how do we get involved in something like this?
A backless suit. I've never heard of that. Why would you?
I don't know.
That's to let the hair free.
The back hair?
Well, half the clothes that are in these kind of fashion shows, they make no sense logistically.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who takes care of your back hair, Randy Shaver?
I do.
No, you don't. How do you do that?
You do it yourself?
What are you, a spider or something?
I rub up against this big thing. Like a tree, like a bear.
That's a process right there, man.
Oh, it's a process, yeah. I've got plenty of time for it now, though.
Yeah, because you like to be hairless.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
He does. He likes to be as hairless as the day he was born.
That's true.
It's true. Did you know that about him, Janelle, after all?
I did not.
Yes.
All
As
these
sleek.
years, I'm still learning things.
He is as sleek as the day he hit the floor.
Just in case he has to go beat a swimming time or something, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned.
Speaking of times, I know you guys probably did not watch the U.S. Olympic track and field trials last night
No.
on
I did.
NBC. Did
In
you
between
Janelle,
periods, I did watch a little. Yes,
Oh,
Randy.
my God.
Janelle,
I know what
did
you're gonna
you
say.
see the 16-year-old boy
Yes.
run the men's 400
Oh, my
meters
God.
last night?
It was unreal.
Quincy Wilson is 16 years old, and he was in the men's 400-meter final last night.
Yep.
He finished sixth. He didn't make the team in that particular race. He could still make the Olympic team as part of their 4x400 meters. I didn't know about this kid until I was watching last night. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Imagine a sophomore in high school is running arguably the most difficult sprint race in the Olympics, the 400 meters, against men who, I think the winning time last night was 44.1 seconds, which is absolutely mind-blowing. But the young guy holds the under 18 world record at 44.6, and I don't know what he ran last night, but honest to God, I was like mesmerized watching this 16-year-old boy competing against these. One guy was twice his age.
I was just going to say that.
amazing.
Yeah, there was a 32-year-old, and then they're standing there at the finish line, and it's like you said, a sophomore in high school, and then a grown man. It was wild.
Well, shouldn't any 16-year-old beat a 32-year-old in a foot race?
I was going to say, I'm more impressed with the 32-year-old.
Oh, my God.
Not really. When you're, not at this level. That's just.
All right.
It's absolutely mind-blowing that a sophomore from high school was running that race last night to try to make the U.S. Olympic team. That was just bizarre.
We're going to end up running late here, but yes, I did actually flip over to that.
Did you watch that race?
No, I didn't see a 16-year-old kid. I did see, because I know nothing about track and field, but I just wanted something to look at in between periods of the hockey game. What I did catch was some women running around in circles for a hell of a long time.
Did you see the one fall?
No, that's what I was hoping for, was for someone. But here's where I'm going.
The steeplechase?
No, she apparently had been injured all season. She'd been training to come back, and then I don't even know for sure what happened. They didn't show it on a replay, but she just fell out of nowhere, and I almost started to cry.
Oh, that would have been
horrible.
Sniper.
Is that the women's 800 meters?
I think it was.
Maybe?
Yeah, I think it was the 800. Yeah.
I was hoping someone would fall in the race that I watched. But what threw me was they hit the starting gun, right? And these college age ladies, right? They're off. And then the announcer says, well, they're going for the world record, 14 minutes and 23 seconds. And I said, they're going to be running in a circle for 14 minutes? That'll kill somebody. I've never seen that before. They ran around in a circle for 14 minutes.
Yeah.
How do you not die from that? I don't care how old you are. I said, this has got to be a joke. Did that announcer say 14 minutes? And then the friggin' wife has to remind me that marathon racers run around for like 2 hours.
Yep.
This is not good
miles.
for us. Why do we do this? Who would sign up for that?
People that are in extraordinary shape, right? That have been training their whole lives for something like that. I love watching the U.S.
Give them a
track and field
basketball.
trials. It's amazing.
Somebody
amazing.
pass those people a basketball before they drop dead on us, for God's sake. So there you go. Randy, we gots to go.
All right.
But we'll talk to you tomorrow morning.
Sounds good.
And we'll be back with more from Janel Klein in a couple of minutes.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
The Ed Milet Show showcases the greatest peak performers sharing their journey, knowledge, and thought leadership.
The more you just kind of play with your ability to visualize, the more it becomes a muscle. It'll serve you. But I'm telling you, life is a whole lot better when you focus on what's going on inside of you as opposed to what's going on around you. And the more we just get internal, we begin to take some measure of control over the mental images we're feeding ourselves, the more we can produce a result that's in congruence with our goals.
The Ed Milet Show is available on YouTube or wherever you listen.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, I see how we are now. Yes, I do. It's 8:35 here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Janel Klein is here, who we are naming the official ambassador of our Independence Day boat cruise coming up this Friday. You are the official ambassador.
What do you think? That's a lot of pressure, you guys.
2024 official ambassador. You're welcome. What that involves, we discussed. You are to greet everyone on the dock as they enter the boat. Okay. Bid them farewell as they leave.
Are we going to give everyone a lei when they get on? Like a little flower?
That would be cute.
Memento?
That would be cute.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
I don't know
Josh,
if we have the budget for it, but yeah, we can.
so.
Maybe some, if there's like some milfoil or something, we can peel off the boat.
Sure, let's do that.
Josh also said that your ambassador role also means that you're in charge of bringing the hot dogs.
Oh.
So
I can do that.
Yeah. It ought to be something on Friday, and we're very happy that you're joining us.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, we're going to need your cell phone playlist for the music on the boat.
Oh, okay.
What do you have in there? Anything interesting?
You know what? This is how dorky I am. I don't think I have one bit of music on
not a
my
one?
phone. Yeah.
What? Nor do I, my friend.
See, again, we're twins.
I know.
We're twins.
Oh, I thought that was a common thing. I know I don't either because I wouldn't know how to do it. But I thought everyone had a series of, what's that?
You got Spotify.
Well, yeah, but a playlist. You see what I'm saying, Wapple?
Yeah, you can make one of those, too.
Well, yeah, I don't know how to do it, but I assumed everyone else did. Now, Janelle and Josh say they don't know how to do it either.
I
know how to do it. I just don't have one.
Do people really do that anymore? Like, curate their own playlists?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever done that either. My phone just because I have an app like you do, Nick. It's kind of like Spotify. And so I'll go and look songs up on there. And so it'll make me my own playlist that it thinks I'll like.
I really didn't mean to start trouble. I was just making a joke.
Spotify, you can make your playlist. You can share it with your friends, and then your friends can go to your playlist.
And we're still going. Still going.
Are they a sponsor? If not, send that to the sales department. Maybe they could get some money out of that.
Yeah, right?
Janelle, earmuffs. I have a sex playlist.
Oh.
It consists of one song, Song 2 by Blur.
The shortest song in the history of pop radio.
Well, it might be short, but I can get her done.
Short song?
Yeah.
Song 2 by Blur.
We had a DJ that was pretty funny. I thought he liked the song, and it's so short. It's like 2 minutes long, right?
Yep.
Isn't it pretty short? He played it like 3 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the boss liked that very much, but I thought that was kind of funny.
More boat cruise tickets coming up at 9 a.m., coming up shortly. Josh is going to cut loose with the tickets before we get out of here. All right. We had a chance, was it yesterday or earlier today? Now I can't remember. We had a chance to briefly discuss my deep, deep troubles with arithmetic. We were talking about how I like the game of cribbage, but I can't play it because I can't add. Was that yesterday?
I think so, yeah, because I was saying we got to invite math tutor Jesus onto the boat if you want to play a little cribbage somewhere on the boat.
I cannot do simple math. That really gives me problems. Someone asked the internet, that's what they did. They went ahead and asked the internet, what's something that seems easy to other people but is difficult for you? So I would say basic arithmetic. Here are some of the other responses. What's something that seems easy to other people but difficult for you? Let's see if any of the rest of us are challenged aside from just me. Oh, Christ. Well, here we go, right from the get-go. This one is a cubby problem, and you'll see it on full display Friday. Mm-hmm. Knowing when to jump in and out of conversations or ending conversations.
Yeah, I do not end conversations.
I really didn't even know that was coming, but there it is, right from the get-go. We got one that hits home with Josh.
I'm definitely a you hang up guy. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. I insist because we're going to be on the phone if you don't hang up.
Now, you would have thought I would have pre-read this. This is not a setup. Number 2 on the list also is full-on Josh. Expressing myself in photos.
Oh, dude.
I really did not know this was coming, but right from the get-go, we've listed 2 real issues that Josh has.
I was telling Nick off air. So Janelle at Randy Shaver's gala, you go and you take a picture with Randy. Nobody really wanted to, but it's a charity event.
Right.
And he kind of looked sad. I swear the camera guy looked at me and was pissed. Like, can you figure out a face? We were up there for a little while. I was doing I practiced in the mirror ahead of time. I don't know my face.
It's adorable.
So sorry.
People assume I'm feeling a different way than I am.
Right.
I don't understand how my face works after all these years.
Right.
So I did practice it, and he kind of looked right at me like, bro, you're ruining this. I just want to go home.
Man, it's a charity event. This isn't a mugshot.
Exactly.
And the best part about the story of Randy Shaver's gala when we had our picture taken is, I received the picture. Randy's people emailed us the picture. Because I'm in the picture, my friggin' wife, Josh, his friggin' wife, Randy Shaver. You look absolutely horrified. You look so unsure of yourself. You look so nervous. It's everything that you would imagine a picture of Josh would be. What were you saying, Janelle?
I'm sorry. I was saying I don't think he felt well that night, so I feel like you should get a free pass.
I was feeling sick.
You didn't feel very good.
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't feeling well, but I appreciate the free pass, but I don't think that made a difference.
He could have been 100%.
But you know what's funny? It's the worst picture of my wife ever, and she hates it. So I'm off the hook a little bit there.
I don't see how. Well, first of all, for sure, your wife cannot take a bad picture. She's gorgeous. So there's no way. And I also think you're harder on yourself than you need to be.
There's no doubt about that.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yes,
I'm
you
going to
are.
find this photo, and you can tell me.
All right.
But I'm not even joking. I think the camera guy was like, bruh. Because I know sometimes in this building we've had camera people say that to me. It's not on purpose.
Only you would assume that the camera guy is judging you somehow.
Because I've been
you.
criticized. And even like my coworkers here give me crap. Oh, I bet his eyes were closed. And so what happens then is I try and keep my eyes open.
Right.
And then I look like I'm scared or high.
You bug-eyed.
Do you ever think about if you got arrested, what would your expression be in the mugshot?
That's the one good photo Josh takes is a mugshot.
Yeah, that's the one I put on like my profile because it's so good.
That would be the one where you just look gorgeous and confident as all hell.
Well, you know what it would be? I mean, I don't really drink, but I'm trying to think like what kind of crime. Let's say it was a drinking-related crime. Maybe I'd be so drunk I'd be, relaxed enough to take a good picture.
I'm rooting for indecent exposure. All right, other things that seem easy to other people, but it's difficult for you. Somebody said remembering names. That's very common.
Yeah.
Most folks have trouble with that.
Yeah.
Whatever their names are.
Sometimes I don't. I'm focused on trying to, not start the conversation awkwardly.
Mm-hmm.
It takes me a second to really figure out what's been said, and by that, somebody's already said the name. That's the worst.
I'm
getting better at it, though.
I made kind of a tool bag out of myself this past Saturday night. I ran into an old buddy of mine, Ike, and Ike was with his wife, and I said, "Hey, Ike, what's going on?" And Ike's wife. That's all I could come up with.
I hate that.
I just called her Ike's wife.
Speaking of Randy Shaver, you had called his wife by the wrong name once.
I did, many years ago.
Really?
Called her Roxanne instead of Roseanne.
Oh, no.
Actually, I called her Rosemary.
Oh, Rosemary.
Her name is Roseanne. This is 20-some years ago. I ran into Randy and his wife, Roseanne, at a Britney Spears concert.
Oh, wow.
And we had a good time, just chatting in the hallway for a minute. And then the next morning on the air, I said, "Hey, Randy, it was really nice to see you and your wife, Rosemary." He did not correct me. He did not correct me.
Oh, no.
Because he knew the next time I saw his wife, she'd punch me in the balls for that. I don't. Basic navigation. Now, that's one that hits home for me. Talking about things that seem easy for other people, but it's difficult for you. The next two on the list, we already talked about my problems with basic arithmetic. But following that, basic navigation, I don't know which way I'm pointing ever.
I'm pretty good at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am pretty good.
No idea.
I try to get that down.
Not a clue. And as I've mentioned before, being the son of an over-the-road truck driver who could get you anywhere in America by just his sense of direction, I had this battle my whole life with my dad. I'd say, "Hey, Dad, I'm in Little Falls. I'm trying to get to," he knew you could call him and say you're in any town in the Midwest. he could tell you where. I'm in Little Falls, which way is the hockey rink? And he'd say, well, you got to go south on Highway 3. And I'd say, I don't know what that means. And he would be, because he knew all that. I didn't. I still
cool.
no idea where I'm at ever.
I figured that out because I've told you, you just want to go on the northwest corner of so-and-so or whatever, and you said that does nothing for me.
Does absolutely nothing for me. They would have thrown me out of the Navy in a heartbeat.
I used to deliver lube by the truckload. Jesus said, I need a GPS to get to the bathroom.
Yes. How is your sense of direction, Janelle?
Okay. I mean, not like, I think everybody knows people like your dad that are just like so good at that.
Yeah.
But I always say I'm pretty good.
God dang. I just did not have that element dumped into. Parking is something that's easy to other people but difficult for others. Parking, huh? Okay. I got it. I mean, I've seen it before. I guess some folks approach at a bad angle, and you know from the get-go, this is not going to. You're going to have to correct yourself. Parking, I guess.
I had a weird deal with that. I used to be great at it. So I grew up in Minneapolis. You got to get good at parking, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, really awesome. And I had a manual transmission, everything. Hill didn't matter. My wife used to compliment me on it. And then all of a sudden, I just couldn't do it. I had like the yips with parking. And I couldn't figure it out. And it was driving me nuts. Like, I was embarrassed that I was so bad because I used to be so good.
Suddenly, you were parking crooked and...
Yeah, I just couldn't figure it out. And so I figured it out last year. It's because I was looking at the camera. And the camera screwed me up.
Right.
And I got just kind of reliant on the camera, and I suck so bad. Now I ignore the camera, and I'm back to being decent at it. But that was so weird. You'd think I would be better with it. It even has a line saying, park here, dummy. And I can't. That screws me up.
Let's see if that's true with directions, though, too, because we're all relying on our phones. You don't have to be good at directions, Nick. You can just put it in your phone, right?
I know, but I've tried that, but I F that up too. Because I'm bad with this. So put technology on this list for me.
Okay.
If you want to, because the list is things that are easy for other people but difficult for you. I have that gimmick where it talks you through the directions, but I even know how to F that up. I'm telling you, I don't know where the hell I was going recently, but I'm following like a dummy. I'm following whatever they tell me. And then I realized later, someone showed me that I had a setting on my phone to avoid major roads.
That sucks.
Gosh.
And I don't have the skill set to notice that on my. So I'm wondering, well, why am I taking all these small ass highways? There, I can see 35 right there. Why am I on this? I had a setting that said avoid. See, that's what I have no
look ahead. Like, for example, you don't. I always try and do that. Like, if I know I'm going someplace I'm unfamiliar, I'll look at the route ahead of time just so I have.
Took me 2.5 hours to get to Golden Valley because I'm taking all this small. Anyway, let's see if any of the rest of these hit home. Things that seem easy to other people but difficult for you. We'll see if any of the rest of these hit home when we come back.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
The Half-Assed Morning Show and Janel Klein. We've been discussing something that seems easy to other people, but it's difficult for you. The godless internet had this conversation, and Janelle really can't jump in much because everything's easy for Jungle Jane.
Oh, my God, that is so not true.
It's a breeze. Life is but a dream.
Zero talent. Zero.
You have talents, by God. I've been admitting and discussing my shortcomings. My God, the list is long. Things that are easy for other people but difficult for me. I talked about my problems with arithmetic, basic navigation. Let's see where else we can go with this. If any of the rest of this hits home. Something that's easy. Oh, this is easy for me. I'm great at this. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm great at this. Rolling my R's.
Oh, I suck at that. I cannot do it.
Not even close.
Josh used to get straight up horny.
I still do.
Back in the day.
You just don't do it as much.
Because the guy doesn't play baseball anymore, but there was a baseball player for the Cleveland Indians for many years whose name was Fausto Carmona. And Josh would pray that Fausto would make our sports report so I could roll those R's for him.
Yeah.
and he could come home fresh for the wife.
I always hope that there's some really good things or bad things that happen to him so he'll make the news. Preferably good things.
Right.
Fausto Carmona. None of the rest of you are good at rolling your R's?
Not at all.
Wapple, can you can't roll your R's?
Oh, God, no.
Is there anything you can roll better than the rest of us?
Maybe a joint or a blunt.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'll mention it again. It drives me up a stinking wall that none of the three folks in the other room, Wapple, Dana, Ashley, not a one of yous has mastered INGs, and it drives me crazy.
Well, Dr. P said I have a reason for it. I'm tongue. Ugh. 'Cause now I feel like I have to try really hard to do it.
You know what? You don't really have to even go on.
Yeah, that was good.
He said I'm tongue-tied, so the stringy thingy that connects my tongue to the bottom of my mouth is shorter than other people's.
Really?
Yeah, he said
we told them to say that to make you feel better about it.
Yeah, and that's why like a lot of other people have that in common too. Most people find out when you're breastfeeding for the first time, but I was not breastfed because I was incredibly premature, so they never figured it out.
Did anyone else expect to go on that journey right there?
That was a hell of a journey.
That was something right there.
I've been trying really hard lately, though.
Every once in a while, you nail it.
Yeah.
Ashley, you're the least offensive of the three. When Ashley tries to say an ing, it's in, like sin in. Like if you're trying to say singing, you say sin in.
Yeah, singing.
Singing.
Well, there you got it.
Yeah, you did really well there compared to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dana and Wapple drive me way more crazy than Ashley because when they try the ing, they say een. What's happening? And it makes me mental.
I don't blame Dana. I blame Blink 182 and Dana's fandom of Blink 182.
That's a good point.
I think you've heard them sing so much, you've just emulated their delivery.
I just follow Tom DeLonge's lead.
Yeah.
It's like the word something for Wapple and Dana. It's spelled SOMETHEEEEEEEN. Something.
Double D Jesus likes it when you say, like, spell your name, Wapple. There's a particular letter she loves you saying.
WAPPEL.
Yeah, she loves the W, the way you say W.
Shuffling cards is easy for some people, difficult for others.
I suck at it. My wife could work at a casino. She's so good at it.
I can't do that bridge back thing.
Oh,
Can't
I
do
sure
that.
can.
I'm not much of a card shuffler. Janelle, I bet you played a lot of cards in Faribault.
I did play a lot of euchre in high school.
Yeah?
I can't shuffle cards.
Can't shuffle?
No.
Hula hooping?
Oh, I suck at that.
I'm pretty good at that.
Decent.
What is it, 1974? I have no idea if I can hula hoop or not.
I could never do a headstand in school. I always hated that. All right, try to do a headstand. I can't.
Those are hard.
That was a common thing at your
had to do
school
it in
to try
school?
and do a headstand?
Like in gym or just
gymnastics and stuff like that? When you had like the gymnastics
The mats out?
curriculum.
Oh,
yeah.
we
I don't
never
think-
had to do
We
that.
were never asked to do a headstand.
Yeah.
Cutting a straight line with scissors.
Oh, I'm amazing at that.
I'm okay.
Horrible.
I like to gift wrap.
Chopsticks.
Can't do it.
I'm good at that.
Good at those.
I just feel like somebody went through so much effort to make a fork. You know, I'm a technology guy. You know, think about that. Somebody came up with that. They put it to the market. People are buying. I don't want to offend that
That's
person.
a good point. I think it adds to the aesthetic when you're eating like takeout Chinese food. It feels like I'm in a movie if I'm using chopsticks.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
A really interesting text came in while we were talking about this on something that seems easy to other people but difficult for you. This is a great answer from a listener. Common sense.
Yeah, that has gone the way.
Boy, do some folks struggle with common sense. We'll wrap it up here. The rest of the list, it kind of goes in a direction where maybe it's a sign of deeper issues, things that are easy for other people but difficult for you. Finding a partner.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that easy for anybody? Like, if you could, but you could find somebody. But I mean, a partner. For me, I think a partner you have a real connection with, like a good relationship.
Yeah.
Finding a partner, not procrastinating, getting quality sleep, forming positive new habits, making and maintaining friends, making decisions, controlling emotions, and time management. It all sounds very frustrating, all of that.
Yeah, some people can nail it relatively easily.
Oh. I have my struggles. I certainly do.
Yeah, we all do.
Everybody does.
We
yeah.
got to wrap her up. We got to get out of here.
Maybe we get to see you again on Friday, Janelle, for Shaver's last day of television.
I hope so, yeah.
Blues Cruise.
I am pretty excited for him, happy for him. So, lots to celebrate.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish is it Oh Geez Jesus? Somebody sent a funny text saying, they're actually glad Randy is going to be leaving Channel 11 because he didn't like the story arc this last year. Thought the writers kind of screwed up his character.
He thought the earlier seasons were better.
So he said, he's glad he's getting written off the show. It's just not the same as the earlier years of the show.
That's funny.
If we don't see you on Friday, Janelle,
Yes.
we will see you as the official ambassador of our boat party on Friday night.
I can't wait for this.
Congratulations for being honored with that title.
It's probably the first time anyone's ever asked me to be ambassador of anything.
Oh, but you get asked to asked to host things, MC things all the time.
Well,
you're a pro.
We'll have to get you like a little badge or a little hat or something.
No,
so everybody
one of
knows.
those sashes. Like you're a grand marshal of a parade or something.
Boy, would that be cool.
Maybe a nice scepter, too.
Yeah.
Some of the past ambassadors, Jordan Max, Stupid Face Jesus.
Yep, Stupid Face Jesus. He had a whole ice carving of his stupid face.
You're in that neighborhood now.
Hey.
You got good company.
That'd be
Can't
fun.
wait.
Thanks, Janelle.
Thanks, you guys.
Yep, see you Friday, one way or the other. Happy early 54th to I'm Not Fat, I'm Aerodynamic Jesus, who has a birthday next week. Happy 43rd to Bros. Happy birthday to Reefer Van Jesus and his twin Andy, last year in their 30s. This text from Mouth Like Nick, Conscious Like Josh Jesus said, happy birthday to my beautiful wife. She hates your show, but she's really hot, so whatever, he said. This text from Truckin' Farmer Jesus reads, I'd like to wish a happy birthday to the man, the myth, the legend, J90 Jesus, turning 69 minus 3, and also his nephew turning the big 05 today. And if it's anything like last year, we're just about 3 days away from Dana getting really high and then denying he's really high on our annual Independence Day theme cruise, booze cruise. I'm sorry, I'm going to call it a boat cruise. I forgot. We've changed it.
Yeah.
You don't want to put that out there. It's too hardcore to say booze cruise.
Booze is kind of scary. We just go with boat.
Are you willing to publicly admit that you were high on the boat last year?
I honestly wasn't high. I was really, really drunk.
Uh-oh, you said you were high. You were high on that boat. Anybody that talked to Dana knows you were in a different world on that boat.
You didn't look right.
No. I was trying to talk to you, and I think you were seeing rainbows and ponies and stuff like that in your mind. We'd like you to climb aboard. Keep your voice at a reasonable volume, drink responsibly, and keep your partying to the absolute minimum. And join us on our boat by texting the word DECK, D-E-C-K, like don't be a deck, to the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, 651-989-9393 is the number to text for your shot to win tickets this Friday on Stillwater River Boats. Best of luck, boat buddy.
93X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.